certain extreme situations, the law is inadequate. In order to shame its inadequacy, it is necessary to act outside the law, to pursue natural justice. This is not vengeance. Revenge is not a valid motive, it's an emotional response. No, not vengeance. Punishment.
Tonight we have a chance to say, yeah, you're right. We're too extreme, we're too wild, we're too out of control, we're too full of our own shit. Or we have a chance to say, hey, fuck you, you're wrong. Fuck you, we're right. Because you have all made it to the dance. Because believe me, this is the dance. Start the show.
Good evening, nighttime thing. Good. Hi, see, I'm off. I'm playing with house money and I'm off. That's what it is. I'm playing with house money and I'm off kilter. Welcome to the show. That's what I'm trying to say. Welcome, everybody. Hello. That's one thing they teach in broadcasting school. Don't say everybody. See, I'm talking to you. I'm not talking to you all. I'm talking to you. Either way, you shut the fuck up. Welcome to the show. We've got a good one tonight. Hey, I got offers. Let me tell you, I got offers for you, not offers me, offers you. You guys are ahead by 24 hours. And I would like to reward you for being ahead by 24 hours. So what we're going to do is if you guys stay ahead by 24 hours, what I mean by that is if you knock out what's left of tomorrow evening, which is 1:45, after tonight's show is over, I'm going to do a 30-minute members-only show immediately after. That's right. I just talked to SP. We have such a busy freaking weekend. We have so much stuff to do to get ready for the long holiday weekend that she's not coming over here. She can't come over here tonight. I can't go over there tonight. So I said, you know what? What I'm going to do is I don't go to bed till like 11 or so. I'm already showered and cleaned up. I went to the gym today. Then I mowed the lawn. I'm tired. But I ain't going to bed right away. So I said, this audience has been kicking it in the ass. They've been so incredibly supportive. I've been getting nothing but messages of well wishes and attaboys. People donating a shitload to this program, and I really, really appreciate it. So I thought, to end Pride Month, the gayest show out there, already 24 hours ahead on goals. If they do this one, if they knock out tomorrow night, and then Tuesday is 24 hours of, and Wednesday night is our final goal of the week, so it's a short, perfect week. I said if we knocked them all out ahead of time, meaning if Wednesday evening gets done by the end of Wednesday morning, I will do a Thursday Rumble Friday show. Or Rumble Thursday show, Rumble Friday show on Thursday, if that makes sense. But I also think for the evening shows, you see, I owe a members-only show from last week. And I'll have to get you one for this week as well. So that's at least 2 members-only shows. But I think if you guys knock out early tonight, if you get tomorrow's done tonight, then yes, I should give you guys a little members-only extra after this, where we just hang out with you guys, we talk, we have some fun. I'm excited. Power Windows starting us, or excuse me, Red Fox Mad starting us off tonight with $4.99 says, who is excited for the anniversary show, golf outing, and cornhole fun? Don't forget the lubricant. You can bring whatever you want. Red Fox Mad with a gifted membership. Thank you very much, buddy. Starting us off hot tonight. I appreciate it. MSO says, question, where is the members-only content on Rumble? Here's the trick we have with Rumble, and this is a problem. And I wonder if they're going to address this at any point. I have 2 choices for Rumble. I can go just Rumble and it's open, or I can do it via Rumble Studio and I can go premium only. But here's the problem, and maybe we'll test this tonight. If I put it on Rumble Premium only, I think only premium people who have Rumble Premium can watch, and the people who have a sub on your channel can't. And by God, I just don't think that's fair. So I kind of have two choices. Leave it open to everyone on Rumble, or make it premium only, and the people who have paid or been gifted memberships on Rumble, no offense, kind of get fucked one way or the other. So we'll see how it all works out. Hey, we got plenty to talk about tonight. We got a show to do. I learned the difference today between golf in shape and ring shape. So I went to the gym today, and there were a couple of people in there, and a couple of people, doing bag work and stuff. So I went to Scott, and then I went to the people. I was like, can any of these guys go are any of them ready for ring work at all? Like, even if I just go light, can these guys do ring work? And one of them could. And so I went in, I got in the ring today, and I'm like, I'm going to move around a little bit with this guy. I'm going to, I'll take it easy. We'll see what he's got, and I'll step it up if I have to. I get to bouncing, I get to moving around a little bit, and from the winter to the summer, I have realized while I am 220, and I was about 220 this winter, my golfing 220 is a lot different than my boxing 220. I got 8 rounds in today. Usually I do 10, and I feel pretty good after 10 if I'm in the ring and I'm working, I'm sparring, I'm doing stuff like that. If I get 10 3-minute rounds in, I feel pretty good. I was sucking hind tit after 8. I mean, and look, it was in the 80s, and our gym doesn't have AC. It's one of those old school, grimy, sweated out boxing gyms. That's why I love it so much. And, oh boy, I was just pouring and huffing, and I did fine. I did well, but oh boy, was my conditioning not there. And I could feel all of this down here. I could feel the whole thing. So it was fun. Then I came home. I had a little tomato soup. And then after I had my tomato soup, I mowed the lawn, took care of that. It's been doing nothing but raining here in Minnesota every day for the last week or so. Haven't had to water the flowers. Rose bed's looking fantastic. That's some gay shit. JH says, so it's not a gym with a TV. Well, where they have the bikes and the treadmills and the rowers and shit, they have TVs up there. They have 3 TVs up in that area. But in the boxing area, no. There's no TVs there. 383 Novocaine says, no more XL Energy Center. We'll get to that in a little bit. Das Optic Nerve says, well, Fatso Hips will do that, you slob. Yeah, dude, there's a big difference between, I get out 2 or 3 times a week golfing, and I'm like, yeah, I'm getting exercise, and that takes 2 or 3 days a week away from the gym. So I've been getting to the gym once, maybe twice a week lately, and out on the golf course 2 or 3 times a week in the summer, and I'm like, it's the same thing. Yeah, swinging a club 90 to 100 times versus planks and running and boxing and shit same thing, same difference. I mean, I golf for over 3 hours. I box for about 45 minutes to an hour. I mean, so the 3 hours is better. It's not. My Lost Interest says 220 at a high body fat versus lean muscle 220. Big difference. Huge difference. I am I am literally Muhammad Ali's same size and weight. Muhammad Ali and I have the same stats, 6'3", 220 pounds. I do not look anything like Muhammad Ali. I look more like Tyson Fury than Muhammad Ali. I look more like Butterbean than Muhammad Ali, but we're the same size. Mr. Beat says, walk the course, save the golf cart for Johnny. It's so much fun to golf in a cart, though. I don't drink on the golf course. I can't until I break 90. There's 2 things I can't do until I break 90. I can't have more than 1 drink on the course around, and I can't get myself any new clubs I don't mean like a new set of clubs. I mean, I can't even get myself an iron or a kind of wedge or anything like that. I can't get any of that stuff until I break 90. That's the rules, man. That's the rules. So yes, it's been a great day. I've had a lot of fun. I finished up the first season of Your Friends and Neighbors with John Hamm. Again, can't recommend it enough. It's a great show. It got renewed for a second season. I had to look that up. So I have had a very productive day, man. I am pumped. The 4th of July is one of my favorite holidays. I got the kids out at the lake pretty much all week. Tuesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I'm running, like I said, I'm running around today, making sure the garbage is out, making sure the dishes are washed. I'm using paper plates now today because I don't want any more shit to clean up. I got to run the vacuum through this before I leave tomorrow to pick up the kids. And then it's off to the lake. I'll come back home to do shows and then back out to the lake. And oh my goodness, the 4th of July week is about to start. That's why I'm saying, like, this week, I want our numbers to be dropping every day. I mean, they've been great. I said we didn't clear 1,000 today. We did. 1,036 was our peak. 874 was our average. You guys are fantastic. Always hit like, always hit follow. But I want to see those numbers drop. Like Mondays were great. I want Tuesdays to be less and Wednesdays to be less and Thursdays to, if you guys knock out all our goals this week ahead of time and I end up doing that Rumble link Thursday, I want those numbers to be in the absolute shitter. I want you guys out there enjoying yourself, enjoying the week. It's going to be beautiful. Have a lot of fun. Pelusier, becoming a member for 37 months, says you should try one guest a week for night shows. Miss the variety. Well, I did talk to Billy Nord today on Instagram. Maybe we'll have old Billy on the show. That could be a lot of fun. Maybe a few Israel people. Maybe some pro-Israel people. That would be fair. That would be interesting. I'd like that. So let's get moving tonight. 145 is the number for tomorrow, not tonight. So the morning show, there was no goal for the morning show today. No goal for the evening show today. The morning show knocked out what was left of the morning show's goal for tomorrow, and they knocked out some of the evening show for tomorrow night. So you guys take it the rest of the way, and let's call it a win for the toe. What do you say? What do you say? Where am I we're starting saying goodbye to Pride Month today. Das Optic Nerve says, I think Sam's show might be pro-Israel. Oh, yeah. Okay. We could bring Sam's show on, and he could give a full-throated defense of Zionism. Did you know? I've been watching a lot of documentaries on the formation of Israel and shit like that. Did you know that Hitler was, and this is odd to say, Hitler was pro-Zionist in a way. Hitler was pro-Zionist in a negotiating kind of way. He was for a state in the Middle East for the Jews. Hitler was for, but he wanted the Jews to have to go there. He didn't want it to be like, oh, a home for the Jews in case they want. He wanted Israel to exist so he could take all the Jews from Eastern Europe and just send them there. And he liked the idea of Zionism only as it assisted his vision of the Third Reich. So I take that how you will, I suppose. Speaking of the Third Reich, let's say goodbye to Pride Month, shall we? It's the 30th. It's the last day of the month. It's been, I think, the fastest Pride Month in my lifetime. It's also been the quietest Pride Month in my lifetime. I don't think a Pride Month has ever gone by quicker than this one has. And it's flown so under the radar. Nobody was shaking their cock in my face. Those were the days. Nobody was trying to read books in libraries to school kids dressed as a lady dragon. It was kind of nice. There's something about the cultural impact of a Trump administration. Maybe not like the force of law, although he has gotten some wins in the last week with the birthright citizenship stuff in the Supreme Court. But it's a social impact he has. Like the people that were the most forceful under the Biden administration. They recoil during a Trump administration. You know, you go to Target, you go to all these different stores, and you wouldn't have known it was Pride Month anymore. Whereas in the years past, it was, oh my fucking God, I walk in and it looks like a unicorn threw up all over this fucking place. All right, I got it. You know, it's really weird. The forcefulness with which LGBTQ people push pride, I'm not going to say it makes you hate the LGBTQ community, but it makes you annoyed with them. It makes you realize they're there, and it makes you tired of them. Like, they're like, we just want awareness. We just want people to be aware of it, aware of us. And I'm not so sure you do. Because people don't understand how equality works. Equality doesn't mean you get a lot of attention. Equality means you don't get any attention. You're just one of everybody. I think a lot of these groups don't really understand what they're asking for when they ask for equality. Because they're like, we want to be treated the same as everyone else. It's like, okay, but nobody's going to notice you, pay attention to you, comment on you, nothing. They're going to treat you like basically you don't exist because that's how we treat everybody. And then you get to Pride Month, they're like, no, notice us, put shit out in Target, put rainbows everywhere. It's like, you're going to annoy the fuck out of people. They're not going to be thrilled with you. They're going to, you're going to stress them out, and they're going to go, all right, fucking enough. And then you're going to yell at them for being homophobic, and then they're going to say they're not. You guys are going to fight. It is like policing children. You tell them exactly what's going to happen. It happens, and you go, see, I told you. Try it different. But then the LGBTQ community feels like they're taking a step backwards and like they're losing their fight. It's like, no, you won your fight. You accomplished your mission. You just didn't like what the result was. The result was nobody gives a fuck anymore. And you're like, no, they've got to give a fuck. Well, here's the problem. When they give a fuck about you, they're usually annoyed. You got to be careful of that. Not just LGBTQ, but like most groups of people, if they're being noticed, it's usually because they're annoying the shit out of people in public. And I guess that's great for getting attention, but it's not great for getting people on your side. So in Sweden, I believe, I think this clip is from Sweden. Norway, I'm sorry, same thing. The leader of Norway was at a pride parade in Norway. They were saying goodbye to Pride Month. And this is the leader of Norway. And guys, I want you to tell me on a scale of 1 to 10, how much of a hostage does this guy look like in this video? It honestly looks like he's just kind of side-eyeing a guy who has a Kalashnikov off camera pointed to his head. Like, shake the fucking flag. All right, smile, motherfucker. Like, they're just kind of holding him there. Like, he's looking at him. He's like, look, I'm doing it right? I'm waving the flag, okay? You're going to let my family go after this is over with, right? You promised. So, as we say goodbye to Pride Month, let us not forget that if you're a politician, a lot of this stuff is kind of done under duress, to say the least. And I think with this Pride Month being a little more subdued, I think it also breeds less annoyance and contempt for the LGBTQ community. Because like the only time the trans thing has come up this month is the pitcher here in Minnesota, the softball pitcher. That's the only time the trans stuff has come up. Otherwise, nobody's really cared. No, that's the thing. Nobody thinks about it. Nobody talks about it. Nobody worries about it if it's not like being thrust right in front of them, no pun intended. So like when it comes to Pride Month, go hang out in the bars, go have your parties, go do whatever. You know, as long as you're just not like rubbing it in people's faces, they're all pretty cool. Most people on the outside in the real world are pretty chill. Like they don't like to go out of their way to get upset about shit. That's some old internet shit. In the real world, people kind of just want to go from point A to point B and back to A again. You know, they want to get their shit done and they want to get back home. And as long as that whole process isn't being like constantly thrown in their face, then people are pretty chill. They're pretty cool, to be honest with you. My Lost Interest made a good point. He says, in fairness, sometimes you need to push way past center to achieve any memorable change. 1,000% agree. 1,000% agree. And I think the LGBTQ community did a great job of that in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s and the first part of the 2000s. But really, once they got marriage and once they kind of got what they wanted, I mean, that was it. That's the hardest part for any group. Once your revolution is successful, how do you disband the revolution? You know, once there's no need to fight anymore, how do you send the soldiers home? I mean, America has that in its foreign policy. Iraq, Afghanistan. What is a soldier to do when the war is over? And you really have two choices. You go, let's kick back, let's relax, let's, enjoy the wins that were. Or you find a new struggle. The problem is when you've got your life and death struggle like gay marriage, and this is the big one, and oh my goodness, the next one you reach for is going to look a little weird by comparison. You're going to be like, wait a minute, I thought you said this was the big W, the big thing you needed. And they're like, yeah, but we got it. And now I don't know what to do with myself. So how about you have to make me a pizza for a wedding? And you're like, is that really important? I don't really make the pizza, you fucking racist. I mean, I didn't want to make the pizza. Well, then I guess we'll just have to cancel you. And it's like, okay, now you're starting to fucking bother people. Now you're annoying them. Will you make me a cake? I don't know. We're a Christian bakery. I don't really think we should make a cake. Make the cake, you fucking Jesus racist. I mean, I guess I don't have a choice here. I either make the cake and go against my beliefs or I get bullied out of business. Like, if you don't disband the troops and you don't end the revolution and you don't end the fight, whatever battle you pick next is going to look, again, kind of silly. Until you get to, can I tuck my cock, wear a push-up bra, put on shitloads of makeup, and tell stories to your kids. And then people are going to go, why don't you super duper get the fuck out of here? No, a matter of fact, maybe we should be taking away that marriage thing. It's getting a little weird. So I feel like Pride Month this month has been kind of a quiet acknowledgement that there's really not that much to do anymore. There's not a lot going on with the whole gay struggle, the gay Kampf, if you will. We didn't see a lot of Pride Month controversies. You didn't see nearly as many businesses changing their logo to the rainbow. You didn't, like I said, you didn't see a lot of the floats and the dancing. And it's almost like the media decided to stop covering this shit to divide people because they wanted to just focus on Trump. Vidam with $5. Jesus. All right. Vidam with the Jew stuff. Jesus Christ. Just, all right, buddy. Just hang in there with me. Okay. Hang in there with me. We're Vidam. We're going to make it, bud. Okay. We're going to make it. Thank you for the $5. 140 away from, remember, tomorrow night's goal, not tonight's goal. Tomorrow night's goal. We're at 140. And if you guys knock out tomorrow night's goal, like I said before, we are going to do a members only show after this show is over. But we are, sad to say, man. Sad to say that Pride Month is ending. In fact, in Seattle, I don't know what they're going to do with their police cars now. Like in Seattle, they painted a bunch of fucking police cars like rainbow colored. I'm not kidding. What? Look, the black guy showed me this. See? So the Seattle police decided to paint their cars rainbow colored, I suppose, to intimidate all the evildoers. And now that Pride Month is over, this is going to look woefully out of place. Let's take a look.
Well, I can't make this shit up, boy. I can't make this shit up. I cannot make this shit up.
That is, I have to say, and I mean this with all due respect. And I mean it actually with reverence. Black people love the repeat and like for comedic effect. They love the two word. You know who made that famous? Chris Rock. Chris Rock taught black people that repetition equals comedy. You know, he was like, I ain't saying I hit a woman, but I understand. But I understand. But I understand. Like that was kind of his thing. And they'll be like, I don't even have anything to say. I don't even have anything to say. I don't even have anything to say, y'all. And it's just like, it's one of the tools in their toolboxes. Repeating something 3 times is to black people what the phrase I'm just saying is to white people. I don't know, especially white women got it in their head. They're going, I'm just saying. Like they thought that was a good punchline. Like they thought that was you might be a redneck. You know, if you're a white woman in Ugg boots, if you're just like, and she wasn't there today. I'm just saying. What are you just saying? Like, what is that? It's like one of those weird, uncomfortable filler phrases. You know, like, well, so there's that. Or it is what it is. Or that, yeah, I'm just saying. So every culture has their crutch. But one thing I've noticed with like charismatic black dudes on camera, they love to do the repeater.
Well, I can't make this shit up.
I can't make this shit up. I can't make this shit up. I cannot make this shit up.
I can't make this shit up. I cannot make this shit up.
Oh, man, I bet, you know what? You can't. He's right, though. You can't make that shit up. That's true. Man, because like one day if I was gonna be all like I'm gonna try and make this shit up, you know what? I couldn't make that shit up. He right though. He right. You can't make that shit up. That has to now be a thing with our chat. Is that anytime something happens on this show and it's quote unquote supposed to be funny or supposed to be a thing, you just go, you can't make this shit up.
When I tell you these motherfuckers, come on, make it sound. When I tell you these motherfuckers and put it down on the police, they got the police scared to fucking death.
I mean, in fairness, there's a lot of homophobia in the black community. I bet you if a cop did pull up to some black guys causing trouble in that car, they would run like hell. I mean, you would break up whatever's going on. Oh, shit, it be the booty police. Oh, the booty police is coming. I can't make this shit up. I can't make this shit up, y'all. I cannot make this shit up. That be the booty police. You know what they gonna do when they catch you? I'm just saying. It is what it is.
Get a chance, guys. Look at that Chaz, Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, where they took over this precinct for 15 days and then made the city buy it back.
Oh, that's right. That was Raz of Chaz. That was the guy who, held a piece of the city hostage.
Then look what they made this.
You know what? You can't make that shit up.
City do. I can't.
Oh, that's another thing. Black people love the stomp and the slap of the knee. They like to stomp and slap the knee. That's a Chappelle thing. Chappelle gave them that. They like to stomp, overlaugh, and slap the knee. Like, oh, man, I can't make this shit up, boy.
Make this shit up.
And then he did it. Hey. Guys, I know black people. I understand black people. I'm a venerated researcher.
This shit is street negro extraordinaire. Man, listen. When I tell you they not playing in Seattle, boy, they not playing. They got the police painting their car. Go!
And you can't make that shit up, boy. You cannot make that shit up. One time I tried to make that shit up, and guess what? I could not make that shit up. Crunchy with $5. Welcome, Crunchy. She says, all right, let's go to. Yeah, that's kind of my, you can't make this shit up, is let's go to. And you know what? You can't make that shit up. Numero uno, Josh Denny fan with $10 says, another win for the toe. Numero, I'm assuming that you meant this. My Billy Nord hat that arrived in the mail. Billy himself sent it. He sent some flyers. I think I'm supposed to go handing these out. Some Billy Nord flyers. And he sent me a handwritten note on his own stationery. Aaron, thanks for making my mornings a little less dull. Holler at me if I could come by the show sometime and beg your viewers for votes. Thank you, Billy. Thank you, Billy. I could go knock on some doors for old Billy Nord. People be surprised as shit to see me out there stumping for a left-wing candidate. No, Landers, I don't think that's who Billy Nord is. Jesus. And Landers, I can't read that other thing that you wrote either. My God. We're just trying to have some fun, and you've got to take it to Jimmy the Greek levels, for God's sake. Professor Tie-Dye says, Aaron knows what the brothers want. Big white booties on fatties with low self-esteem. I mean, I've heard this. I've heard this from black people themselves. Numero uno says, yeah, that's what I meant. All right. Well, hey, my shit's been out for a long time. That sounded fucked up. Loaded Wrench, becoming a member for 33 months, says it's dead ass in these streets. It is dead ass in these streets. He's not wrong. Numero uno, Josh Denny fan says, now I want one of those hats. You want a Billy Nord hat? I can't get it on over my headphones, but I don't know. I can't give away. I can't put a dollar sign. I can't put a dollar amount on my Billy Nord hat. That would be wrong to give away Billy's hat. MSO will be very happy as Crunchy gave us $5 tonight. So that means she's alive, which is great. You guys are 130 away from tomorrow night's goal. Like I said, if you guys knock out tomorrow night's goal tonight, we will go ahead and give you a members-only show after this one is up. And as long as we stay ahead morning and evening, I will do a Thursday, what do you call it? Rumble Friday Thursday show. If we don't stay ahead, I'm going to go ahead and take Thursday off, enjoy my time at the lake. But if we do a perfect week this week, we'll do the Rumble Thursday. So this is a nightmare, and this will keep me away from raw foods for a while. A lot of people in Asia, they like that cuisine where like the shit is still wiggling. Like it's alive, and they want to boil it right in front of them. This is a woman at a restaurant where she's got a boiling pot in front of her, and she's going to put, I believe, a shrimp in the thing. Let's full screen this. This does not go the way that she intended it to. This is from the channel Rural Life China. This is a Chinese woman trying to enjoy her, what looks like an amazing spread. And it goes south on her. So that fucker's still alive. She tried to put him in a boiling pot, and he did what any living thing would do when you're trying to boil it alive. He tried to nope the fuck out of there. Let's see how that works out. So now what does that do? I don't know if that thing like bites or stings or anything like that, or if it's just hot as fuck and it's burning her arm. I'm not exactly sure what's going on here, but I know she's in an immense amount of discomfort. At first, sometimes you can't tell if Chinese people are laughing really loud or screaming in agony. It's kind of that's why, like, whenever I watch, like, any kind of Asian movie, like, if I watch a Godzilla movie or whatever, I'm not sure if they're happy to see Godzilla at first or or they're scared. Turns out they're scared every time, but so now is it that's my thing, like, is it burning her or is it biting her? Because it looks like an alien creature. Like, I don't know if that's a giant, I don't know if that's a huge shrimp. I don't know if that's some kind of, like, sea creature that I'm not familiar with. Whatever it is, it's fucking her up pretty bad, and they can't get it off of her. Now, look at that. Is that her arm, or is that something the thing did? So what? So number one, what the fuck was that thing? And number two, what the fuck did it do to her? And I need to see the inside of her arm. Like, did she have that mark? Yeah, I don't think her arm was like that before. Oh, I'm sorry. I took it off the screen. I was totally just watching that by my... So that was just a big fucking shrimp. I thought you could dump, like, salt on those and they would go away. Kind of serves you right, though. Like, kill your fucking food before you eat it. What's this thing with, you know, boiling shit alive? Like, what kind of sadistic nature do you, like, what kind of sadistic relationship do you have to have with your food? Fucking kill the thing. That's one thing Americans do better than everyone else. You know, even sushi, it's dead, it's just raw. But Asians have this weird thing, like they got that octopus that it's like technically dead, but if you shoot a certain juice on it, its nerves will re-engage. And like, why do you need to do that? Kill it. Kill it and then cook it and eat. It's good that way. You can get different, like, marinades and seasonings and sauces and then things like that. It's good, I promise. You don't have to take a creature. Maybe the Asian world needs to hear this. You don't need to torture your food. You don't need to make sure its heartbeat stops just as you're biting into it. Like, I guarantee that thing's got a shelf life. It'll be fine if you eat it a little bit after it's dead. But if you need to, like, in a way, if you need to take a giant shrimp and you need to throw it in a pot of boiling water before you'll eat it, fuck you. I hope you get your hand bitten off somehow. Dumping a large amount of salt on the shrimp likely wouldn't have made it release in a way that calms the situation. The shrimp's movement is natural when live or fresh, especially in a hot pot, and the person's reaction seems due to heat or surprise. Okay, so it wasn't like biting her, and the shrimp can't, like, eat your hand. But yeah, it's probably hot as shit. It's probably burning the fuck out of her. Oh, that's slugs. Okay, so salt you use on slugs. People just start trying whatever old wives' tale they've heard. Like, all right, hold on, I'm going to piss on your hand. They just start peeing on the giant shrimp. It's like, oh shit, that's a jellyfish a bite. That's not a shrimp. I sprinkle a salt. The salt, that's not a work. That's a slug. I know, I throw a harpoon through its head. No, that's a whale. That's a whale. Totally different thing. Don't. Like, you know, this doesn't happen if you don't try to boil your food alive right in front of you. It's fine. Just stop doing that, and then you won't have to worry about that happening to you. Numero uno, Josh Denny fan says, you don't need to torture your food before you eat it. Explains why you couldn't bring yourself to flatten that chicken parm. Oh, that is a deep cut, my friend. That is a deep cut. Yeah, that chicken parm, which was delicious. It was good and everything, but I didn't tenderize and flatten out the chicken parm before I made it, so the presentation was not quite as good. Presentation, not what it should have been. Hey, Gray Duckling, thank you for gifting 5 subscriptions over on Rumble. Thanks, buddy.
We want the gold, sucker. Hulk Hogan, we coming for you, nigga.
What a guy. What a guy. That's going to put us down to 105 for tomorrow night. Oh, boy. The Toe People. If they get that down to 0 by the end of the night, I am giving them a members-only show after this one is over. It looks like Jostrich, Taste Fairy Ialto, Cockdiff, 09 Canyon all got memberships from that one. Chad Buzamak, I'm not even reading that one. That's disgusting. That's beneath me. I say no, sir. That is... And how'd you get that video? That was supposed to be a well-kept secret. No one was supposed to know about it. And now I've got some phone calls to make. Thank you. Yeah, fuck you. If you boil your food alive, suck my ass. If you boil your food alive, don't come crying to me when you get burned or it eats you or it bites you. You know, what's his name? Teller from Penn and Teller. Penn met him. One of the first times he met Teller was Teller was doing rabbit tricks. He was like pulling rabbits out of hats and shit like that. And the problem that Teller had was the rabbit that he had was like it was just too wired. Like it wouldn't stay for a trick he was doing. So he took it to a vet and he asked the vet, how can I temporarily paralyze this rabbit? And so the vet gave him a shot and told him how to administer the shot. Teller administered the shot wrong or got the dosage wrong for the rabbit, and he paralyzed the rabbit's back legs. And when he paralyzed the rabbit's back legs, he thought, okay, it's temporary, it'll be fine. And he did the trick, and he showed everyone the paralyzed rabbit. But the paralysis was permanent. And now Teller, not wanting the animal to suffer, decided he would put the animal down. But he didn't have money to go to a vet. And he didn't have a gun or anything like that. So he decided he would draw a bath and he would drown the rabbit. And Teller had to physically hold the rabbit under the water. And I guess his arms and face and everything just got scratched to shit because even though that rabbit was paralyzed, I think Teller's or what Penn said about the story was any animal will become obstinate when it knows it's going to die. Like no matter how fucking paralyzed that rabbit is, whatever it's got in those front legs is going to kick and scratch and scrape and bite like fucking crazy because it's being held underwater by a madman who doesn't talk. So Teller drowned a fucking paralyzed rabbit when he was a young magician. Vidam with $5 says Trump is involved in this farmland steal that the city in New Jersey to build affordable housing. No shit, you say. Well, that's interesting. 100 even away from tomorrow night. 100 even from tomorrow night. Thank you guys very much for your unbelievable generosity so far this evening. All right, let's see what Vidam's got for us. Apparently Trump is mixed up in this.
Jersey town is moving to seize farmland that has been in the same family for more than 175 years. Eminent domain allows governments to seize private property for public use with fair compensation.
Which, by the way, eminent domain, I don't know if this is a Democrat or a Republican position to have, but whatever it is, I'm that on this issue. Eminent domain is bullshit because the government always, they give you fair value based on your property tax statement. They go, this is the taxable property value, not the whole property value, not like what you'd get if you sold it on the open market, but the parcel that they, like the amount they tax is what they give you. They get to decide what fair market value is. Eminent domain is complete bullshit because they take your land from you. They buy it from you, even if it's not for sale, and they never give you market value or even, a little above market value, for your troubles of rendering you landless or homeless. Eminent domain is complete bullshit. It's bad, like civil asset forfeiture is bad. But, civil asset forfeiture is one of those things where the person who did it might end up being guilty. So they may have to take that anyway. I believe you shouldn't be able to take that shit unless you can prove the guy did something illegal, unless you can convict him. And you can convict like the car or the home or whatever you're taking away from him. You have to make sure that's connected to the committance of the crime. Eminent domain is just an innocent person. You're just showing up on their land going, we need this for X, Y, or Z. Here's some money. Get the fuck out. You can't say no. Eminent domain is complete bullshit.
Christine Sloan reports the owners are
If the government wants to buy some land, they can negotiate with the landowner. And if the landowner doesn't want to sell, then you got to move along.
Fighting back in court, and now the Trump administration is getting involved.
Andy Henry's family has owned this 21-acre farmland on South River Road in Cranberry, New Jersey since the 1800s.
Fuck, New Jersey already smells like dog dick, and now you're going to put cow shit in there with it? Ugh.
My great-grandfather bought it in 1850, so I'm the fourth generation, my brother and I.
Henry and his
wait a minute. Hold on. Anybody doing the math there? Oh, boy. They bought the farm in 1850. Guys, give me a second here. Give me one quick second. When was slavery outlawed in New Jersey? January 23rd, 1866. So holy shit, New Jersey hung in there for a while. Oh, bro, they should have to sell that farm. That's a slaving farm. That is a slaving farm. But they're like a northern state. While New Jersey had previously taken steps towards gradual emancipation, such as the 1804 Gradual Abolition Act, it was the 13th Amendment and its ratification in 1866 that brought about the complete end of slavery in the state. Okay. So New Jersey wanted to hang in there a little bit.
brother, who owned a house on the property, leased the land to a cattle and sheep farmer. But the 72-year-old says in April he got shocking news from the township of Cranberry.
Shocking, more like shucking news. Am I right? It's a farm with the... It looks like they're going to put this farm out to pasture.
We got a letter from the township attorney basically saying that we want to take your land and we can agree on a price or we'll use eminent domain to take it.
Henry.
Bingo. There it is. That's what they can do. Hey, we need your farm. Well, it's not for sale. Yeah, we weren't fucking asking. So we can negotiate a number or we can tell you to fuck off and we'll just tell you a number. What? Like that, again, this is a free country, right? This is America. Remember what I said last week? Your revolution, you know, what we fought, what our ancestors fought for and, you know, crossed the ocean for, that got sold a long time ago. We're a corporation now. We are a multinational corporation. You don't matter. You are grist for the mill. If the government says they need it, they will take it from you. If they say you did it, they will take you away. The government is fucking evil. It is a multinational board. It is a corporation. It does not represent you. As evidence, they will take your shit whenever they feel like it, and they'll think of a reason later.
He says the township wants to seize his property to build affordable housing. He says...
Oh, fuck you. So you're going to remove a farm, something that's probably economically productive. It probably produces tax revenue. It provides services to people, food, for God's sake, milk. And you're going to build a shithole on top of it. That's what you're going to do. Something that'll lower the property values, make people not want to move to that area, introduce more blight. Wow, that sounds like great city management, great city building. Hey, which council members are getting handouts for that one? Which construction company that's related to the mayor or city council members or the city attorney or the city finance director? Who's getting their palms greased on this deal? Who has the cousin who has a construction company who really needed this deal or they might go under, so the city worked it out for them? Who's making fucking money off this deal? What other reason do you have for eliminating a farm and building affordable housing? Which never, in all the times of affordability and housing. Affordable housing has never amounted to, hey, what wonderful, amazing people live here, and they keep it so clean.
The attorney has already filed a complaint in the Superior Court of New Jersey to stop Cranberry from seizing his property.
Tough shit. They have a right to, because you don't have rights anymore. The people with the guns have all the rights.
A local town council in a small town has that kind of power. It's incredible, and it makes me feel terrible.
We went by the township municipal building for comment, but we're told officials could not comment because the matter is under litigation. At township committee meetings, officials saying they are required by a state law to provide an affordable housing plan by June 30th.
Wow. So just shitty management. Wow, that's talk about a no-frills city council meeting. Holy shit. They're on just what looks like a collapsible table. This looks like a family reunion more than a city council meeting. And I love that. These guys have to lose their farm, but if the media goes to the government, they're like, well, no comment. We're not going to comment on it because it's still ongoing. Fuck you. If you can take that guy's home away from him, if you can steal that guy's farm and give him a fraction of what he could probably get for it, you've got to talk about it, dick.
Committees made decisions in a responsible and ethical way.
President Trump's agriculture secretary saying legal options against the township are being explored, adding, quote, the Biden-style government takeover of our family farms is over.
Nice. I hope they step in and help out. I hope they come in. I would support federal troops being used to keep their farms. They can even shoot a cow and take it with them, for the meat.
Henry says it's not about politics or money.
That's a part of the town's history. We fed the town in the 1850s. You couldn't go to ShopRite.
Yeah, it was slaves. Slaves butchered that meat. It was hard work. Lowdy.
Right.
Henry getting support from some residents that he says are selling stuffed animals to help him. He says his supporters even setting up a GoFundMe page to pay for his legal fees.
Good. That's great. Isn't that something? The government can show up, say, we're taking your fucking land, now pay a fortune, pay a fucking fortune out of pocket to defend from us trying to steal your land from you. Wow. It's just fucking bonkers how they can get away with that shit. Numero uno Josh Denny fan with $1 says, Trump ordered the code red? What's this now? What's the code red? Did you order the code red? Recounts giving Iran permission to shoot at a military base in Qatar. Yeah, did you hear about this? Did you hear about this? Apparently our whole war with Iran was staged. There's rumors that Iran knew which nuclear sites we were going to hit. And then Iran told us ahead of time which bases in Qatar they were going to strike so we could make sure our soldiers wouldn't be there. It's just... It's like the most WWE war ever.
15 missiles were shot at us the other day, and they were very nice. They gave us warning. They said, we're going to shoot them. Is 1 o'clock okay? They said, it's fine. And everybody was emptied off the base, so they couldn't get hurt except for the gunners. They call them the gunners.
It's so weird. I've never heard of that before. I've never heard of I've never heard both sides admit it before. I've heard of, there's going to be an attack and the other country was notified. We call it Pearl Harbor and 9/11. But that whole Iran told us where they were going to strike, so we moved all our guys off base and just let them launch missiles at us. That just... Does it sound as weird to you when it gets to your head as it does to me? Lander's telling me for my take on eminent domain, I sound like a Democrat. Well, that's fine. Then I guess I'm a Democrat on that issue. I'm a Democrat. If the Democrats hate eminent domain, then I'm a Democrat on the issue of eminent domain because I think it's awful. MSO says guns were made for this exact situation. Right? I mean, if you would talk to the founding fathers, it's like, yeah, they're going to come take my farm. And it's like, well, shoot them. If you ask Thomas Jefferson, Like you said, hey, Thomas, you wrote the declaration and all that. I said, yeah, sure did. Yeah, so I got a farm, right? Oh, farm, that's good. I was a farmer for many years. I had, you had slaves, didn't you? Yeah, slaves. Fucked them, right? Fucked a bunch of my slaves. Had kids with them. Yeah, the whole deal. Anyway, I'm a farmer, and a government agent wants to come to my house and negotiate a price to sell my farm to them. To the government? Yeah, to the government. Do you want to sell? No, I don't want to sell at all, Thomas. I was kind of wondering if you could tell me what to do in a situation like this. Do you have a gun? Yeah, I have a gun. Are they coming onto your property uninvited? Yes, indeed they are. And they're from the government? Yes. And they're going to take your property? Yes. Shoot them. What, you want me to shoot? Yes, just shoot them. They're tyrannical. When the government is tyrannical, we told you guys to get guns for this very reason. If the government turned tyrannical, a militia could be raised and you could, defend the republic. So you want me to shoot the guys that are coming to take my farm? Correct. Wow. Thank you, Thomas Jefferson. That's... you're going to have a tough time with that. That's going to be a tough sell to the city council. You're going to the city council and being, so last night I fell asleep, right? I dozed off. I was watching a movie. And Thomas Jefferson came to me in my dream, and he said that if you guys keep trying to take my land, I can shoot you. And you'll be like, what happened now? Yeah. Thomas Jefferson came to me in my dream, and he said that I can murder you guys for trying to take my land. I don't think that's how this works. Fall asleep. Go talk to Thomas Jefferson. He'll let you know what's up. If my position on eminent domain makes me a Democrat, then I'm a Democrat on that issue. Lander says, when the government comes to take your shit, you respond with force, not exactly rocket science. Well, that's not going to end well for you. That's not going to, Randy Weaver didn't even shoot anybody, and they still killed his family. They don't, like I said, this country got sold. It's a multinational corporation now. It got sold a long time ago. Decades and decades ago. We lost that battle, unfortunately. Even hundo away from tomorrow night's goal. Thank you, guys. I'm very thirsty. I didn't bring near enough to drink down here tonight. I don't know if I'm going to go beer or if I'm going to go high noon when I come back down. About 5-10 minutes or so, I'm going to go grab something to drink for this evening's program as we're just hanging out. I'm going to let you guys vote with your money. High noon, Minnesota Gold. High noon, Minnesota Gold. We're going to go girly cherry drink or guy beer. One of the two. And we're going to let you guys vote with your dollars. We are $100 away from tomorrow night's goal. Help us out. Throw in a couple of bucks. And again, like I said this morning, if we stay ahead, if we are at least one show ahead every show this week, we will do a Thursday, Rumble Friday, Thursday program. Wow. It looks like the Wild are not going to be playing in the XL Energy Center next year. This is the end of an era. I've only known the Wild to play in the XL Energy Center my entire life. They've been in the XL since they came to the NHL in 2000, but the naming rights have expired, and they got a bigger bid to rename the stadium, and,
some big news that none of us expected happened today about, an hour and a half ago or so. All of a sudden, somebody stood at the newsroom and said, we have it. We have the new name for the X. And we all kind of waited with bated breath. So joining me now is Matt Mika, Minnesota Wild CEO, and Rhonda Weisenegger, the CEO of Grand
Who? Wait a minute. Whoa.
Casino. Thank you both for joining of Grand Casino, and Rhonda Weisenegger, the CEO, is Matt Mika, Minnesota Wild CEO, and Rhonda Weisenegger,
That, first of all, why is someone named Weisenegger the CEO of a casino? In Minnesota, casinos can only be owned or be run and operated by Native Americans. So I don't know why a Weisenegger and who is she?
Hey, Nigger League Museum.
Oh,
and Arthur Bryant's Barbecue.
Oh, Glenn. Why is a Weisenegger? You know, when we were kids and we were acting silly, my dad would call us wiseacres, or he would call us Weisenheimers, but never he never called us Weiseneggers. I think if my dad would have looked at us when we were kids and went, "Ah, you bunch of Weiseneggers," somebody would stop and went, "What the fuck did you just say? Weisen what? Eggers, Weiseneggers." I probably should have enunciated more, given we're at a basketball tournament. That was probably. Wow, I tell you that Ben Carson, he's a pretty sharp guy. What'd you say is? Never mind. It's not. You know what? Let's not do the bit.
The CEO of Grand Casino. Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I need to know how each of you are feeling today. Matt, let's start with you.
Yeah, I feel great. We are thrilled to announce this 14-year partnership today with Grand Casino. They've been
14. So you signed a 14-year naming rights deal for your stadium. So of course this guy's happy. He's thrilled. He's like, my Weisenegger. It's her fucking name. I'm still jarred by that. You can't be, she's Weisenegger rich now. Jesus, 14 years. 14 years for naming rights to the stadium. XL Energy Center sounds cooler than Grand Casino Center, though, or Grand Casino Stadium. That's not as cool. XL Energy Center sounds awesome.
An amazing partner as we've discussed this opportunity together.
And I don't know who put the deal together, but what I'm hearing is that she did most of the work. That she was the head Weisenegger in charge. And she Weisenegger rigged this deal.
They emerged pretty quickly as the right folks for us. So we're thrilled.
Yeah.
My Weisenegger.
I can just piggyback on that. We're excited to be part of this naming rights agreement and the partnership that we have. It was wonderful to, again, build a relationship with Minnesota Wild. We both have shared values in creating great memories for people in Minnesota.
Right. Theirs is doing it as fathers and sons watch a hockey game and make memories together. Yours is children seeing their father come home drunk and penniless because he lost it all at the blackjack table. So you guys are doing like basically the same thing, right? Weisenegger, please. I had no idea that was her name. I just knew that the Minnesota contingent in our audience would have liked to hear that news that the XL Energy Center is going away. And then that turned out to be her name. So I really, like Buzamok says, I'm going to ride this bit for a week. I really, here was my plan. My plan was just tell you guys that they were naming the stadium something different and then move on quickly here on the show. I didn't know that her name was going to be that. So it went a little longer. They should put her name on the stadium. I want people to have to come to the Weisenegger. That's where you should have to go. And then every time a team comes in, you have to show them the spelling and they're like, oh, Egger. Oh. Okay, fair enough. Would you say that Neil deGrasse Tyson is a white? Never mind. You know what? It doesn't matter. It's not important. It's not important. My Lost Interest says stadium sales almost always end up with higher ticket prices. Well, doesn't make sense though, does it? Because you'd think you just made more money with the naming rights. You should be able to lower ticket prices. I know. I'm adorable. You know, I wonder when that casino gets like really tough in negotiations if, and that CEO really has to lay the hammer down if she's a Weisenegger with attitude. That's, you see, Crampa Bay. Doggo Doesn't Die with $2 says both drinks are gay. Oh, the Minnesota Gold and the High Noon are both gay. And eminent domain is mentioned in the Fifth Amendment. It's been there since the beginning. What? They made eminent domain a thing back in the, well, I've just got two things to say to that.
Today, Nigger League Museum and Arthur Bryant's Barbecue.
Yeah, I'm not happy. Is eminent domain in the Fifth? I was today years old when I found out that amendment had one M in it. The Fifth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution includes the Takings Clause. They even call it the fucking Takings Clause, which is my least favorite Christmas character. Taking Clause. You know, Santa Claus comes by, he gives you some presents. You know, he eats the milk and cookies. He, lets you know if you've been naughty or nice. Taking Clause, he just comes in and he just takes your presents before you get up. He's actually a Weisenegger. The Takings Clause. It's totally different. The Takings Clause, which grants the government power of eminent domain, allowing it to take private property for public use. However, the Fifth Amendment also stipulates that this power can only be exercised if the property owner receives just compensation for their property. So the founding fathers held us down and throat fucked us from the very start. We've never been a proper country, for God's sake. Thank you, Atomic Ray, for gifting a membership over on the Rumble end of things. You guys are $95 away from tomorrow night's goal. Thank you very much. Keep it up. Keep it going. And we'll notch a win 24 hours in advance. And again, if we notch that win, we will go Wow. Interesting. Thank you. We will if we knock out tonight's goal, we will do a members only show immediately following this show tonight. Nomo with $1 says, silly wise. No, it's Weisenegger. Wise with an E. You guys are spelling it wrong. It's E, and then at the end, there's a hard R. It's Weisenegger. 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 You guys are like Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's similar. I feel like you guys are doing this on purpose. I really do. All right, I'm going to go grab that drink because I am drier than a cactus. That sounds weird. Coming up next, we have someone on the Supreme Court who really totally deserves to be there. Remember when George W. Bush wanted to put Harriet Miers on the Supreme Court? She was like a lady who ran the Texas lottery. And everyone was like, that's bullshit. She's unqualified. You can't put Harriet Miers on the Supreme Court. Well, Joe Biden's gift to the Supreme Court, the appointment of Ketanji Brown Jackson, has just paid off in the laughs department as she wrote a dissent for the 6-3 decision on birthright citizenship. I mean, you know about like these judicial opinions that come from the Supreme Court. Like they're still like kind of old timey English a little bit. Not when Ketanji Brown Jackson does it. She does it way, way different than anybody else. We're going to do that in just a second. We're about $90 away from tomorrow night's goal. I appreciate you guys staying ahead for us. It means a lot. Let's continue on here. I'm going to fire up a little bit of music. I'm going to go grab something to drink, and hopefully you guys stick around. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit share. Thanks for being here. You know, I really should get a like a little refrigerator down here. Just a little refrigerator, something right there that I can reach in, grab. No, my lost interest. It was not a secret poop break. Not a secret poop break. I just ran up, grabbed one of these, came back down. Atomic Ray says, anyone know if bike night is happening at Stoney's? As far as I know, bike night's on the 3rd. It's a good way to open up the 4th of July weekend is at Stoney's. All right, so no bullshit. Ketanji Brown Jackson wrote the dissent for the 6-3 decision to allow Donald Trump to revoke birthright citizenship in the United States. And in it, I guess what we found out was Ketanji Brown Jackson is a How I Met Your Mother fan, and her favorite character is definitely Barney Stinson. Because oh, nope, Cheetos did just write to me, no bike night this week. All right, you know why? Because I'm going to guess right now, and he can text me back. I'm going to guess because when you live in Rockville, you're very close to that Richmond chain of lakes, and you ain't going to be fucking around with a lake weekend. All those bike guys are heading up north. They're going to their spot they got on the lake, and they're going fishing, or they're going to a cabin, or they're blowing their hands off with fireworks, or doing what the fuck ever for the 4th of July. That's my guess, is that up near that chain of lakes, you don't fuck around with 4th of July week. So bike night will be coming back to Stoney's next week. So this is Ketanji Brown Jackson writing the dissent as a Supreme Court justice for the United States of America. As I understand the concern in this clash over the respective powers of two coordinate branches of government, the majority sees a power grab, but not by a presumably lawless executive choosing to act in a manner that flouts the plain text of the Constitution. Instead, to the majority, the power-hungry actors are, wait for it, the district courts. That's right. A Supreme Court justice, in a dissenting opinion, for the record, for time immemorial, forever and ever and ever, gave us a ... parentheses, wait for it ... the district courts. And that's for all you racist bags of shit who didn't think she belonged there. You know, so many of you were like, oh, is she qualified, or is this a DEI hire or whatever? I bet you look stupid now, don't you? Saying this was a DEI hire and that Ketanji Brown Jackson didn't belong there. You are, wait for it, wrong, motherfucker. She 100% belongs there. She's a bad bitch. She tells it like it is. She talks in normal people talk. Oh, man. It's like anytime like the nomenclature, anytime like the basic speech of the country starts to like the like official speaking, like the few places where you'd expect like old English to still be spoken, the minute those start using the common tongue, if you will, it's kind of one of those slippery slopes into idiocracy. Like pretty soon they're all going to be talking like Stephen Root in Idiocracy. They're all going to be that judge. All right, I'm fixing to get to judiciating up in yum. Like pretty soon it's going to be that. She's going to be like, in the words of DMX, y'all going to make me lose my mind up in here. So there you go. Well, guys, the only good news I can say is that idiotic opinion was in the dissent. That was not that phrasing, the way that was written, that was not written by the people that passed the thing. Those were not the people who carried the day. The people who carried the day probably said heretofore, as with, therein, without, withholding, wherein, within, where it is. We substantiate the belief of the applicant. Nomo says Ketanji Brown Jackson ended it with shit. She said, as soon as I knew that Donald Trump, that the executive had exerted too much power, I said, quote, shit, that's all you had to say, Negro. That's, she's like, I must say that I thought the way that the district court stood up to the president was fire. I thought it was fire. And on God, I do not agree with the majority in this decision. For real, though. No cap. This decision is booty. Or be booty, I think. It depends. It depends. Bappa Shab says Aaron would be fawning over her if she looked like Jasmine Crockett. I'm not going to read it the way you wrote it. I think Jasmine Crockett is very pretty. And there's something about her anger and hostility that makes me attracted to her, like one is never mind. I was going to say an unknown creature, but that just sounds fucked up. Anonymous Fake Dono with $10 says, I bought my friend an elephant for his room. He said, thanks. I said, don't mention it. I love that joke. I am stealing that joke, and I am telling it to everyone I know this week. Let's practice it. I bought my friend an elephant for his room. He said, thanks. I said, don't mention it. That is a fine joke. It's nice. It's easy. It's simple. It's to the point. You don't have to overthink it. Just a real solid dad joke. Thank you, buddy. $85 away from tomorrow night's goal. Thank you very much for that. Oh, God, 85. We can finish up for tomorrow. We can stay 24 hours ahead here on the toe. You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of libertarian dad jokes. If you don't remember, Reason did this bit where they did dad jokes based on libertarianism, and it was fantastic.
What did communists use to light their houses before candles? Electricity.
That's a good one.
I asked my North Korean friend how things were going there. He said, I can't complain.
I like that one too.
Yeah. Why did the Libertarian quit his job at the Italian car factory? Because he hated fiat. Fiat.
How do you know Arlington National Cemetery is popular?
I don't know how.
Because people are dying to get in there. During all the foreign wars, without congressional authorization. They die overseas and then the body is shipped back home.
Yeah, no, I get the mechanics of it.
And then the families come and visit the graves. And it's pretty crowded.
I am not sure that joke works.
Yeah, well, neither does nation building, but people keep trying it.
Okay. Knock, knock.
Get a warrant. Get a warrant. Okay. Oh, no, wait, I got one. You start, though. Say who's there.
No, with a knock, knock joke, you start with knock, knock.
Yeah, this is a no-knock, knock joke. Like a no-knock raid, but it's a knock-knock joke.
Okay. Who's there?
Police, we shot your dog. Whoops. Sorry, wrong house.
What's the difference between Trump, Obama, and a claustrophobic Eskimo?
I mean, there's lots of differences.
Okay, well, for this joke, only the Eskimo doesn't want to get snowed in. Snowed in.
Yeah. Why did the Afghani bride get cold feet?
This one's great.
Because her legs were blown off in an American drone strike. Extrajudicial, again, without congressional oversight.
It's as what they always say, right? It's funny because it's true. We did that. We're the good guys, remember? We're the good guys, the Americans. We bombed wives in half at their weddings because there was a terrorist cell phone at the wedding. We used to do that all the time. We used to bomb weddings because a terrorist was there. And we knew that because his cell phone was there. And then everyone who was killed at the wedding by the United States drone bomb would be considered an unlawful enemy combatant because they must be, because they were hanging around a terrorist. And so that's how we kept the civilian body count down during the Afghanistan war. See, you didn't know that, but that's very interesting to know for American history, is that the civilian death toll, and like, if we'll do that, but like, I'm sure Israel would never do something. I'm sure Israel would, whatever they're telling you the death toll is in Gaza, you can take that number to the bank, because in no way is Israel even more clandestine and tight-lipped than us. But when we bomb weddings and kill 50 people, it's just, they're all terrorists.
Or authorization.
Why did police take a 3-year-old into custody?
Was he unarmed and black? No.
He was resisting arrest.
Right, that makes sense.
They just shoot the black kids. How can you disappoint a libertarian with only one Lepo?
What is a Lepo? God.
It's wonderful. It is. They all work. They all work wonderfully. Sam Show says, I only laughed at the legs getting blasted off by an airstrike. The rest is awful. He didn't want to get Snowden. Snowden. Like Snowden. Because Obama and Trump. Snowden. Because the claustrophobic Eskimo, he'd be in the, because snowed in. Snowden. Can somebody explain it to Sam Show? He said that one wasn't funny, but I don't think he gets it. Snowden. Somebody, you know what? I got to move on. But you guys explain to Sam Show why that's hilarious. Doggo Doesn't Die says, whatever happened to Edward Snowden? He's in Russia, isn't he? I think Snowden's in Russia. He's not the one who cut off his cock, is he? No, that was Bradley Manning. Bradley Manning was, he wasn't WikiLeaks. Bradley Manning was something else. But then he cut off his dick and became Chelsea. Who was the guy that we traded a shitload of terrorists for? Was that Bradley Manning? Who was the one we traded a fuckload of terrorists for? And there was, there was the Brittany Griner thing where we gave like a black market arms dealer back to the Russians to get a shitty, washed up power forward. But who was the one we traded a bunch of terrorists for? And it turns out that guy just went AWOL and abandoned his post. Like, there was some guy, he was in either Afghanistan or Iraq, and we were like, oh my God, he was captured by I think it was the Taliban. And we gave away like legit, like serious lieutenants and colonels and shit, or whatever that ranking would be, in Al-Qaeda. For Todd Bergdahl? I think it was, or no, Bo Bergdahl. Bo Bergdahl was the guy who legitimately gave intel to the Taliban. Yeah, we thought he had been captured in battle. It turns out he just walked off the base, fucked off, abandoned his post, walked into the arms of the Taliban and just started giving them a bunch of information. And we gave up a fuckload of enemy combatants to get that guy back. Which, you know, I'm sure his family was thrilled, but sucked ass for us. Sucked ass for us, man. All right, let's go to our next thing. Apparently, this is interesting. So you know this guy that they want to make the mayor of New York City, this Zoran, you don't mess with the Zoran? Zoran Mamdani is going to become the mayor of New York, most likely, 24 years after Islamic fundamentalists took down the Twin Towers, they want to elect a radical Muslim as their new mayor. That's I gotta say, it's what do they call that? It's progressive as fuck. It's super tolerant. I don't know if it's the best idea in the world. And when I say radical Muslim, I don't mean he's like radical Islam. He's a radical. He's a fucking communist. He keeps saying democratic socialist, but democratic socialist is a way they package their communism to make you think they're okay guys. Like the whole tactic behind communism, it's just such a manipulative, evil, philosophy. It's like the opposite of Hakuna Matata. It's tell people what they need to know. Like frame it in a way, soft sell them on communism. Make it a smiley face, make it something nice. Basically say, it's democratic socialism. Then when you've got them and they let you in there, take everything over and do your communism. It's the most like I always say about socialism and communism. If you have to tear an existing structure down, because if that structure exists, people will prefer it over what you're offering, then what you're offering might be dog shit. And if what you're offering needs to be soft sold to people instead of just, go ahead, like this will work great, let's choose to do this, your idea might be dog shit. But Fox News anchor Harris Faulkner now has a new tactic in criticizing the Zoran. Her way of criticizing the Zoran is basically saying if you're a Jew and you vote for him, then you hate Jews. I got to say, this one is pretty wild. Harris Faulkner was on with Marie Harf. And I mean, why wouldn't she have a clip of this? You know, I got to say, this Mediaite is getting kind of lazy with their shit. They used to show you these articles like, hey, here's a thing Fox News did. Then they show you the thing Fox News did. But then they just give you a transcript. So if we go Faulkner, and then what was the other lady's name? I apologize here. Harf. There we go. Well, Twitter will find it for us. This is the part where, maybe not. Harris Faulkner, Marie Harf brawl for 2 minutes over. Here we go. We got to go to the Daily Caller to get it. But we got it. Here we go. We got to pause our ad blocker for them. God forbid. Now we can finally get the fucking clip. Probably have to watch an ad first. I'm going to guess we're watching an ad first. Then we can check it out. Sorry, guys. Oh, no, it's just going to load for about 50 minutes. Take your time. Don't worry. I'm not doing a show. And in no way should you guys have to hurry this up.
Yeah, here's why I think this is an interesting look into his campaign. He was unknown as of 6 months or a year ago, right? He is a new...
Fucking weird, right? Almost like he was put there by people. Oh, man, this guy who wants to be the mayor of the most important city in the United States, he's like an RKO. He just kind of appeared out of nowhere. I mean, that's not weird or something we should be looking into at all.
Candidate who has tapped into energy and...
It was fucking Adams and Cuomo, and then out of nowhere, this fucking Muslim commie pops up, and they're like, oh, what does he do? And he's like, well, he's never really done anything. Who knew him? Nobody really knew him. How'd he get any fucking money to run for mayor? Well, you know, he's just, he's here.
Concerns about cost of living, things that you mentioned. He has repeatedly said he abhors anti-Semitism. Increasing anti-hate crime funding by 800%, that's real. That will help in New York. And don't take my word for it. Prominent Jewish New Yorkers, Jerry Nadler, Brad Lander, they have said they have endorsed him.
Isn't Jerry Nadler the guy who shits his pants, though? Like, I don't know if I want a guy who shits his pants to be, oh, now I see why they want that ad blocker taken down. Jesus Christ, guys. I don't know if I want old pants shitting Nadler telling me who I should be voting for. If you can't hold your bowels in, I don't know if I want you picking the next mayor of New York City. And also, Like, oh, he's going to increase funding on hate crime. Like, all this window dressing shit that makes liberals clap like seals. Arf, arf, arf. But, like, how about we just focus on upping funding for fighting crime in general? I promise you, if you just start fighting crime, you'll take care of the hate crime thing. Like, you know who did a really good job against hate crimes in New York City? Mayor Bloomberg and Mayor Giuliani. You know why? Because they just took care of crime. They didn't really give a fuck what color the perpetrators were or what color the victims were. They just, I mean, if they were black, they went, all right, we're going to frisk you for a gun because, That was the funniest thing. Like, we want stop and frisk to be eliminated. And all the cops and all the, Bloomberg politicians, they were, and remember, Bloomberg hates guns. And Bloomberg was like, look, you got to have stop and frisk. And Bloomberg's kind of a liberal. Owns the Timberwolves now, but he's a liberal guy. But even he was like, look, you've got to keep this stop and frisk thing. It's really helping the crime rate. Like, we're seizing a fuckload of guns because of this stop and frisk. And people were like, yeah, but couldn't you make an argument that's unconstitutional? Yeah, but you could also argue this place was a gothic hellhole before we got here and did some stopping and frisking. And they're like, yeah, but you frisk more black people than you do white people. And it's like, well, I mean, yeah, you could break it down that way, but I will say this, the way we're doing it is very effective, and we are getting a shitload of illegal guns off the streets. And a pretty solid, like, they would take the percentage of white people they would stop and frisk, the percentage of black people, the Asians, Latinos, and they would see the percentages that they would get illegal guns from, and the black and Latino ones were kind of high, and the Asian and white ones were pretty low. So what law enforcement did with those numbers is said, okay, instead of inconveniencing a fuckload of people, why don't we target where we know the guns are and who's most likely to be holding them? All they were doing was following the numbers. They weren't like, yeah, let's stop black people because we don't like them. They were saying, let's stop black people because we tend to get the most results out of that one.
You're talking politicians who want their party to be in the office.
But they're Jewish, but Harris,
of anything that they believe in.
That's not true.
I mean,
are you questioning Jerry Nadler or Brad?
Yes. That's the easiest question I've ever. I hate it when people do that. They try to like get you in an argument by going, are you questioning this person? I usually have no problem going, yeah, 100% I'm questioning that person. Are you questioning Jerry Nadler? He shits on himself.
Landers' commitment to Judaism?
100%.
Wow. I wouldn't question anyone's commitment to their faith.
The same way that I would question Chuck Schumer, who works against the interest of his own people at times for the politics.
Let me.
Ooh, she's saying that he ain't a good Jew? I've got to be honest, man. I think one of the biggest problems we have is these politicians sometimes only acting on the behalf of their own people rather than we the people. I think that I'm certainly not going to criticize Chuck Schumer for that one.
And that's what they're doing here.
What I'm saying here. Prominent Jewish New Yorkers have said they have met with him. They believe that he abhors anti-Semitism and will help New York do better.
Then why not condemn a globalized intifada?
I think that he should be.
Because maybe, okay, this is kind of racist on Harris Faulkner's part. Because not all Jews are Zionists. Believe it or not, there are a lot of Jews out there that don't like what the nation of Israel is doing. There's a lot of anti-Israel Jews in the United States. So, like, it's kind of like her saying, why doesn't this black politician support watermelon becoming our national fruit? It's like, well, that just because he's black doesn't mean like watermelon is a priority. Same thing with that. Like, why, these Jews, why do they support this Muslim guy who won't condemn the global intifada against Israel? Well, because maybe those Jews aren't for Israel.
More sensitive to the context in which many people hear that language, and I think he should condemn it. But I think that painting him with a brush that because he won't, because he's wordsmithing, because he doesn't want to censor, that everything else he's said about condemning anti-Semitism, Jewish leaders saying he is good for their community.
Not everybody.
No, but a lot. I think that matters too. And I don't think he's an anti-Semite.
I don't see three people being a lot.
Well, then I'm not voting for. These, like, one thing I agree with Joe Rogan on is these cable news debates are just all theater. Like none of this, nobody's getting informed right now. Nobody's learning anything about current events. Nobody's being helped. Nobody further understands the New York City mayoral election because they watch these two yammer back and forth at each other. Like this is all just pro wrestling.
But we can get back.
Like, listen to them. They're like, some Jews like him. Some Jews don't like him. Some Jews are traitors to their own people. Some Jews, like, I'm not learning anything about what this guy's going to do for New York, what he's going to do about crime, anything like that. It's just they're yelling at each other about Muslims and Jews.
Back into it another time.
Well, the number of Jewish New Yorkers who voted for him in the primary was not small. Maybe 1 in 5, 2 in 5 Jewish New Yorkers. We're still getting data here. That's not a small number of Jews. I don't think you should discount their feelings on this either.
I'm not discounting their feelings. They're voters. They can vote in their interest or not. I would.
Oh, that's kind of cunty, isn't it? I'm not discounting their opinions. They can vote in their interests or not. Meaning, if you agree with her, then you're voting in your interests. But if you don't agree with her, well, maybe you're not voting in your own interests.
Say this. If they're really concerned, Emily, about affordability in the city, why did they live for the last 4 years with no protest against all the illegal aliens that came in and soaked up more than $1 billion each year, plus while Biden was in office, while they had...
That doesn't have anything to... This is fucking retarded. Yeah, you're not getting anything. This is not nutritious debate for your soul, so to speak. This is just a bunch of bullshit. Yeah, they don't like affordable housing. What about the illegal aliens? It's like, whoa. Like, look, we can talk about both of those issues. Like, both of those issues can be discussed. But to be like, oh yeah, if they don't fucking agree with us on illegal immigrants, why do they want the rent to be really expensive? You know, a lot of people have really strong opinions about this Mamdani, and maybe it's because I'm in Minnesota and I don't give a shit about New York, but it's also like I've watched New York go to the shitter since de Blasio. You had 2 terms of de Blasio, you've had Eric Adams, now you're going to have this Mamdani guy. It's like, I don't think Mamdani's the disease. I don't think Mamdani's the guy who's like, oh my God, he's going to ruin it for New York City. He's just going to be another log on the campfire that's burning down New York City. Like this is a guy taking a log, I would say, into a forest fire and just tossing it in. You know, he's accelerating it a little bit, but they're going to act like this guy is the whole reason that New York went to hell. Jeff Mack rated our stream. Wow, thank you, Jeff Mack. Oh, I appreciate that. Now, guys, now we've actually got to do well tonight. Fuck, we got put under the bright lights of the one and only Jeff Mack to tell it. Well, we're making fun of Rosie O'Donnell in a little bit. That'll be good. Oh, we've got the Pornhub ban thing too. I guess Pornhub and Texas are going to war. That's not going to end well for Texas. And then also we have the next story we have is the greatest way to get out of a speeding ticket ever. It's a little Tommy Boy-esque in a way. Like this guy, this Spanish dude who got pulled over, and in fairness to him, he got out of the ticket. But he got out of the ticket in a very, very funny way. 85 away from tomorrow night. You guys are more than 24 hours ahead on any kind of monetary goals for this program. So let's enjoy the raid from Jeff Mack. Let's continue on with tonight's show. Hit like, hit follow. If you feel like becoming a member, go ahead and do that too. We appreciate it. But before we do that, let's do this Spanish dude who got pulled over in Cervera, Spain for driving without a seatbelt. Now, I don't know how it's done in Europe, but in the United States, at least where I live, if you get pulled over and you're also not wearing the seatbelt, they'll add a little money to your ticket. You'll have to pay $50, $60, $100 more. It's a pain in the ass, but just, click, they say click it or ticket, whatever. Well, this guy turned out to be a beekeeper. And when the cops pulled this dude over and they were about to ticket him, he got desperate. And when he got desperate, he released his bees. They went ahead. They gave him a breathalyzer test. He passed the breathalyzer test. The officers couldn't believe it, so they wanted him to take another test. So he lost it. He shouted, quote, "Now I really am going to kill you," and ran to the back of his vehicle and opened the door and released hives of honeybees. Police had to take refuge in a nearby restaurant and call for backup before they were able to manage to arrest the guy. How? You'd think you release bees on a bunch of, well, I guess he's not immune from getting stung. So unless you're wearing your beekeeper suit, this is kind of a suicide deal. Just like a real life supervillain, only a few hours later, King Bee was apparently released and all of the charges were dropped. Atta boy. So he was driving without a seatbelt. They thought he was shit-faced. It turns out he's just a terrible driver. He released bees, which is clearly assaulting a police officer. They have to go hide in a restaurant. It puts their whole day behind. They finally get the guy. The judge cuts him loose. Oh, my God. You know what? Mamdani might be running Cervera, Spain. They really, it's not just an American thing. Like, nobody puts anybody in jail anymore. It's just me. It's like, you just release a shit. Look, first of all, he said you're all going to die. So he clearly threatened the police officers' lives, releases the bees. They all go running. You can't get away. Why? I don't know. And they cut you loose anyway. That's all the way a win for this dude. 100%. Now we go from a bee to a cow. We didn't have a lot of that. I just thought that was a silly one. I thought that was a good little transitional story. Instead of, this to that and then the news and that. I just thought that was a nice little silly one. $85 away from tomorrow evening's goal. Go ahead and, like I said, if you hit tomorrow night's goal tonight, I will do a members only show after this program tonight. That's right. Immediately after this program. Rosie O'Donnell is not happy with Jeff Bezos' new wife. This is a true sign that you're an unhappy human being. And that is that you have an opinion on what's her name even? Lauren Sanchez. The fact that you have an opinion on Jeff Bezos' wife, other than what you immediately see, like her physical appearance and shit like that. But I don't like Lauren Sanchez. I can't imagine a bigger waste of your time than to take the time it would take to develop an opinion on Lauren Sanchez. Even technically to develop an opinion on Jeff Bezos. I mean, unless Amazon mailed your mother's corpse to Zimbabwe, I don't really see why you would even have an opinion on Jeff. Imagine being such an angry twat that you're like, oh, I was online today, or I was watching TV, and I was looking at TMZ, and they showed Lauren Sanchez. Fuck, I really hate her. Why? What did she do to you? She's literally the most, the least consequential person I can think of. She's the guy sucking the Amazon guy's dick. That's what she does for a living. She fucks the Amazon guy. I don't think she's still a weather lady, is she? Because that's what she used to do. She used to be like a weather girl on the news. She would point at the map and show you where the rain was going to be that weekend. Now she drains Jeff Bezos' balls for a living and sprays champagne on people while William Shatner is trying to talk about how he just touched the face of God out in space. Honestly, that might be my favorite Lauren Sanchez moment. Is William Shatner is standing outside the space capsule after they just went up, and he's like, and when you're up there and you see God, you know. And then all of a sudden Lauren Sanchez is like, yeah! Jeff Bezos is like, yeah, let's do some champagne, motherfuckers. And William Shatner just turns to the cameraman. He just wants to make eye contact. He wants someone to listen to the fact that he just had the most profound moment of his 90 years in the universe. And Jeff Bezos' new set of tits is just spraying champagne on everybody. But I don't know how you develop an opinion on that. Hating Lauren Sanchez Seems like a giant waste of time. And leave it to Rosie O'Donnell to waste her own time. I'm going to tell you, I think she's still bitter about The View. I think she thought that View, I think she kind of saw herself like she would be the Whoopi Goldberg of The View. Like the way Whoopi is now, or like Joy Behar, where like they're never getting rid of those two dipshits. I think Rosie O'Donnell thought that she was going to be that. But like she was so liberal that even the liberals on The View found her too annoying. And I think that's still stuck with her because I don't think she's gotten a lot of gigs since then. Now she's just an angry butch lesbian. Rosie O'Donnell isn't holding back on letting the world know what she thinks about Jeff Bezos' big money wedding. And she's taking direct aim at him and his new bride, Lauren Sanchez, throwing in some sharp shots at her looks. Now, Rosie, put Rosie on the, look, come on. Rosie, come on. Rosie, don't. You're making it too easy, honey. You have to pass a certain threshold before you can comment on somebody's looks. And you can't look like Christian Bale could play you in a movie right now if he gained enough weight. You don't get to comment on someone else's appearance when you look like somebody's uncle. I'm not okay. Look, no offense. You'd be a cool uncle, but you look like somebody's uncle. So I don't think you get to comment on Lauren Sanchez. On Monday, Rosie took to Instagram to post a before and after shot of Lauren calling her Jeff's fake fembot wife and questioning why he ditched his salt of the earth ex-wife, Mackenzie Scott, for her. Because he's a fucking billionaire. He knows he's going to die. You only live once and he wants to get lots of pussy. But he's a nerd. Here's the problem with these dorks who get rich. They fucking marry the side pussy. These fucking dildos. Pick a lane. If you want to be married and you want to do the family thing, then stick with the wife you got. Because the wife you got is going to be the wife you get when you get the next wife. They're just going to end up being the wife. If you want to go feel young again, you want to get your blood pumping, you want to fuck some young gash, then do that. That's what guys know how to do. Dorks and these fucking AV club guys who become billionaires, they fall in love with the first side pussy they meet and they go, I have to lock this one down. Because deep down, there's still nerds who think when you fuck them, you got to marry them, you got to have kids with them, you got to do the whole thing. But they have billions of dollars, so they have access to cool, but they don't know how to unlock it. So Jeff Bezos goes, I fucked this guy. Oh, God, I got more pussy. Because he was a book nerd his whole life. You know, he was a guy who hung around in bookstores and was like, oh, this is a copy of Hemingway's early works that he never released commercially, and I got to... You ain't getting pussy talking like that. But then he got billions of dollars, and these hot girls wanted to talk to him, and he's powerless to resist. So he's going to divorce his wife of decades and that he probably had kids with. And he's going to give her billions and billions. Like, she's the fourth wealthiest woman in the world now, just for divorcing Jeff Bezos. And so Jeff Bezos is like, I'm going to go crush pussy. I got money. This is what guys do when they've got shitloads of money. They crush pussy all day long. Falls in love with the weather girl, marries her in 2 years. No crushing pussy now. But that doesn't mean that Rosie O'Donnell gets to go and fucking slag off Lauren Sanchez. Again, you got to clear a certain bar before you can do shit like that. So she posted this on Instagram. Now, don't get me wrong. I talked about this morning. I think Lauren Sanchez, when she first met Jeff Bezos, was a fucking stunner. She was like 49, 50 years old, and she looked like this. That's a beautiful woman. She's got a little bit of like the crow's feet coming in here. She looks like a woman who's lived, you know? She's beautiful. She's got great tits. She's got a very pretty smile. She's got lines on her face. Women have lines on their faces. Women have lines on their faces. They have a story to tell. They have experience. They've got a little bit of curves. They've got an ass. They've got tits. They've had a kid or two. You know, they've lived a life. You know, there's something you can fuck. But then, you know, when they start trying to cover all that shit up, you know, oh, I want to fill up my lips. Like, none of us give a shit how full your lips are. If anything, You start filling up your lips too much, we wonder if you've just been perpetually stung by bees, if you've been walking into wasp nests when we're not around. The tits, you can lift them up a little bit. Sure, we're never going to complain about that. But the massive fucking bolt-ons that don't move, come on, be reasonable. Touch them up a little bit, fill them up a little bit, plump them up a little bit. Aces, we love it. I've always said, if I can touch them, they're real. I've known fake tits that are realer than real tits, because the real ones, you can't damn. So when it comes to like a Lauren Sanchez, what she had to work with before was enough. It was great. You don't need to improve on it. The lips ain't helping. Now the face skin is all tight. It looks like a football you left outside for too long. Don't do that. You don't need to do that. All right? She was a fucking stunner just a couple of years ago. But at the same time, why does Rosie O'Donnell give a fuck about what Jeff Bezos' wife looks like? What is with these wealthy liberals and their inability to let other wealthy people just live? What is with millionaires being jealous of billionaires? For the life of me, I don't get it. You've got plenty of money, more than you'll ever spend. Rosie O'Donnell is so wealthy that when Trump got elected, she was able to just pick up and leave the country and live comfortably. She can do that, but she still got to hate Jeff Bezos. $1 from Professor Tie-Dye says, to end pride, if you were on a bus full of gay guys, would you get off? Getting 15 shots to celebrate a BJ is fine, but it won't wash the taste out. But how does God turn fruits into vegetables? AIDS. I don't know. I don't understand how I didn't. Thank you for the $1. I don't understand what the fuck any of that meant. My Lost Interest says Rosie does have a better hairline than Aaron, though. It's not very nice. That's not very nice at all. That actually, I don't care. I'm fine if her hairline's better than mine. That wasn't the point of what I was trying to say. I feel like you're just trying to attack me for no good reason. Twisted Question Mark says she was hot. She was. I don't know why she had to go and fuck with it. I don't know what that's all about. 09 Canyon says, stick with your wife. LOL, don't marry the side piece. I never married a side piece. Ever in my life. I've never married a side piece, my friend. It's, I got mine. I'm happy with the amount I got in my day. I think that's out of my system. I do. I genuinely think that my fuckboy days are done. I hope to God that with 3 kids and at 38 years old, my fuckboy days are done. I would like, I mean, I'm not, look, I'm happy with my number, shall we say. I'm like a baseball player who's like, if I have another 30 or 40 home run season, what's it really going to matter? Like, I'm happy with my you turn over the back of my baseball card. I don't need to have another big season. I don't need to go have another all-star year. I'm happy with where my career's been. But for Bezos, I think he genuinely wanted to fuck around. But I don't think he knows how to, because a lot of these dorks don't know how to fuck around. They want to. They think they're supposed to because of the money they have, but they don't know how to do it. And that's Bezos. Look, I'm not saying he should fuck Rosie. Nobody should fuck Rosie O'Donnell. Ever. Ever. But he didn't know how to do what he wanted to do. Twisted Question Mark says, time to settle down, Aaron. No, I hope to God. Just stop while you're ahead. What? Third time's a charm, That's what they say. Third time's a charm. What is it? What do they say about marriage number 3? First one's for love. Second one's for money. First marriage is for love. Second is for money. Oh, yeah, attributed to Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis. Well, little hoe bag. saying the first time you marry for love, the second for money, and the third for companionship. That's what I'm screaming. I'm not saying you don't love the person you're with the third time around. Of course you love them or you wouldn't be marrying them. But the reason you're marrying them is because they're a companion to you. You know, they're your partner on a journey. You know, the first one, you love them. You're fucking all the time. And you're just, Jesus, God, just sex all the time. Oh, my God, let's put this in paperwork. And you marry for that. The second one, I don't know, for guys, for men and women, it's different. The second one being for money. The second one, I think, for men, the first one is for love. The second one is for fun. And I think when you're the second one, when you're a guy, you usually go younger with the second one because you maybe have a little money saved up, whatever. Oh, guys, can we pause for just 1 second? I think I have to take this. Hold on 1 second there. Never mind. I did not have to take that one. I did not have. I thought that was a number I recognized, and I thought, you know what? I should hurry up and take that one. But then I answered, and nobody was on the other line, and I know that number. Yeah, what the fuck? What are you gonna do? What do you do? Thank you very much to Wally World for gifting a membership. I appreciate that. Hey, guys, you're $80 away from tomorrow night's goal. And I said before, if you guys knock out tomorrow night's goal tonight, which means in the next 35 minutes, we are going to let you, we're going to do a members-only show after tonight's program. Yeah, so I would change up the Jackie Kennedy Onassis quote to be, first time you marry for love, second time you marry for fun, the third is for companionship. I think that's fair. And I think the companionship, if you can do that one first, that's probably the best way to go. Because I think the love part is obvious, but you need more than love. You know, you can't just be like, oh, I love you. I'm going to spend the rest of my life. Love can change. Love is tenuous. Love is hot. Love burns fast, and you got to fuel it, you know? You can fall out of love very, very easily. And you can fall back in love. You know, you can lose it and get it back, you know? It happens. But I think if you don't marry for that, you marry for the companionship element, I think that's what keeps you going when you're 45, 50, 60, 70. I think the companionship part is probably the most important. Or don't fucking listen to the twice divorced guy. Your call. Your call. $80 away from tomorrow night. Let's go ahead and get generous and keep ourselves 24 hours ahead. This is, you know how a lot of people say that they go to like Yellowstone and they go to like outdoorsy places on vacation because they want to be, quote, close to nature? You know, when people say they want to get close to nature, what they're usually saying is, you know, they want to see birdies and they want to see, you know, elk and antelope from afar. You know, they want to see bison just roaming around in their natural habitat. What they're usually not talking about is the grisly, grotesque, violent, vicious parts of nature. The parts that are maybe a little more gruesome than the brochure says it's going to be. This is a woman who was apparently watching the Yellowstone, the geysers, you know, Old Faithful and all that. And she saw a bison walk into the hot springs area. And the bison drown in front of her in the hot. I mean, this was like a horrific moment. She video recorded it. She taped the whole thing. I think it's blurred out so that it can be played on YouTube. But yeah, I don't think this is what people have in mind when they say, I really like to see what nature is about.
Just look how ominous this video is.
So the bison wandered into the scalding Grand Prismatic Spring. And it's kind of like, they say about, a frog in a boiling pot of water. If you put a frog in an already boiling pot of water, he'll nope the fuck out of there. He'll jump out. But if you put a frog in water and you just turn the heat up, you boil him alive. I've always thought about that when people use that expression or they use that metaphor. I'm like, why are we, there's been a lot of frog torture in this country that's a common thing in our nomenclature that we use to talk about slow torture. It's like, if you throw a frog in boiling water, I'm like, who the fuck is throwing all these frogs in boiling water? But if you put a frog in regular water and you turn it up, and you're like, how bad did this motherfucker want to torture frogs? But in this case, this was a bison. He wandered into the scalding hot springs. And by the time he realized, oh, fuck, this is way too hot for me, it was too late to get out, and he's dead. It's their largest hot spring. Ooh, he could use a good hoof trimming. Yeah, that's not usually what people mean when they say, God, when I go to Yellowstone, I just want to be close to nature. I just want to go and see God's grace in everything. I just want to see the beauty of God's creation. It usually doesn't mean I want to watch a bison sauna to death. It's not typically the route they want to go. People are saying that the French, it's the French who like to eat the frogs. Well, all right. Did they have to try to find numerous ways to torture the animal? Nomo says, should have taken lessons from that shrimp. No shit. The shrimp could have told you, man, you got to latch onto a lady's arm and just burn the fuck out of her. Punish her for it. Thank you to someone who stole my account name. I appreciate that. Thanks for the $1. It's very nice of you. Asians are big frog torturers. Zero Rugrat says, no, people like to eat frogs. I know they like to. There's a difference, though, between eating frogs and being like, all right, I've been doing my own at-home tests about how to best boil a frog. I threw him in a pot of boiling water. He went apeshit on that one. But then I also put him in a nice jacuzzi, right? And then I just slowly turned up the temperature on him and slow boiled his ass to death. Like, it seems like a lot just for the sake of finding the best way to murder a frog. That's all I'm saying. $80, I'm just saying. Oh, they did it, y'all. Oh, they did it, y'all. $80 away, guys. Go ahead and throw in a couple of bucks. I don't mind saying. Mildly, I won't say all the way disappointed in the evening show crowd because, $70, $80 on a free night, not bad. But you guys are like the badasses of the Steel Toe audience. The morning show guys are supposed to be the pussies, and they came in hot. They knocked out the rest of tomorrow morning's show, and then part of the evening show tomorrow night. And then you guys, I really thought fait accompli on the $150 away from tomorrow night. I thought we were going to stay a half hour ahead with the evening show crowd. I mean, look, $80 away going into tomorrow morning for the evening show is fucking amazing. That's awesome. I appreciate it. But I think you guys can dig deep and you can knock out tomorrow evenings. Although, the closer we get to catching up goal-wise, and the closer we get to, getting to like tomorrow night with a goal still intact, it would mean the closer that I don't have to do a show on Thursday. So I guess I got to kind of look at the positives of all that. Thank you guys very much for the contributions. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit follow. So the Supreme Court backed Texas in their fight against Pornhub. And, I think if we banned Pornhub and if we banned pretty much any internet porn site, I think it would be better for society. I think society in general would be better off if porn was... and by the way, I'm not saying porn has to be gone or it has to be outlawed or it has to be banned. I'm saying if you relegated it back to the dark recesses of society, the video stores where you had the beaded, adult section and you had to hear someone go in there and it made the rattle of shame and they had to come out and be like, I'll take this, please. That's good for us. Or like if you had to get the magazines that had the black bar cover on them because they were, it was dirty and it was shameful. And you had to bring that up to the front. And this was before self-checkouts. I think if we reinstituted a little more shame to pornography, I think it would be better for us. I think we could, I think a lot of young people come up now and they have really twisted, perverted understandings of what sex is because they just watched way too much fucking porn, and they think you got to like plug a chick in the ass while you double fish hook her and shit. It's like, take it easy. That's not how it works. Back in the day, it was trial and error. It was trial and error back in the day. You're like, okay, that works. Okay, all right, I'll do that next time. And then that was the worst part about breaking up with someone back in the day was you were like, oh, I had that one figured out. Now I got to go with a new one. And all right, now this work. All right, this was my go-to. That's not working as well anymore. You got to make adjustments. Like playing a new team on the road. It's not like the Globetrotters where you get to play the Washington Generals every night. You gotta switch it up. By the way, thank you for the $4.99 pizza shit. $75 away from tomorrow night's goal. Appreciate it. But the Supreme Court was taking Texas to court. Or the Supreme Court. Pornhub was taking Texas to the Supreme Court over this age verification law. So Texas passed a law that said Pornhub has to verify that the person using their site is 18 years old or they can't, or we're not going to let them run their site in Texas. And Pornhub said, if you keep this law, we're just not going to let our site be shown in Texas. And Texas went, sounds great to me. Totally fine. We're not bothered by that whatsoever. So they called Pornhub's bluff. And Pornhub backed down. And they're like, but what we're going to do is we're going to go to the Supreme Court. We're going to file a lawsuit. Well, we're going to go to the courts. And then it got up to the Supreme Court. We're going to file a lawsuit that says you guys can't do this shit. You guys can't just make this age verification law. Well, the good news is the Supreme Court has upheld the age verification law for pornography in Texas. It was it 6-3? It was a 6-3 decision. Yep. In a 6-3 decision along ideological lines authored by Justice Clarence Thomas, the Supreme Court upheld a Texas law requiring porn sites to verify that users are at least 18 years old. And one person tweeted out, we have 3 very disgusting liberals on the bench. Now, I tend to agree with that statement that if you voted in favor of Pornhub on this deal, it's kind of fucking weird because you're sort of voting for like letting kids watch porn, which is fucking creepy. Cause like when I was a kid, we had to sneak it or we had to, find a way to access it that technically, we weren't allowed to do. Like it was a real sneak around thing. And I think it's better for us that we keep it that way. And when you have 3 Supreme Court justices going, come on, let the kids watch Pornhub. It's like, okay, you scare the shit out of me. I don't know if you should really be making decisions. You know, this seems like an easy one. Texas, as a state, has a right to set. I mean, if Texas doesn't have a right to set the age for porn, then they don't have the right to set the age for booze or cigarettes. The Texas law also requires porn sites to warn visitors that pornography is potentially biologically addictive. It is. And proven to harm human brain development. It does. Desensitize brain reward circuits. It does. Increased conditioned responses and weakens brain function. All of that's true. All of that's true. I mean, if you watch enough fucked up, crazy, hardcore pornography, how's the regular real thing supposed to do it for you? If you're just fucking whacking off to that stuff all day, every day, and you're watching the most disgusting shit out there, it's going to kill you. It's going to numb you up. As Theo Vaughn says, your receptors is down, homie. So I like this. Like, I like the idea of making these sites adhere to an 18 and over policy. I think it's better for the culture in general. And I'm glad that the Supreme Court said that states have a right to do this. People were tweeting shit like, get a VPN and stop the Republican war on porn. What? Like, that weirds me out. Why are you so passionate about this porn thing? Why are you so passionate about the porn deal that you're like, that's a weird thing for an adult on Twitter to tell like a 15-year-old in text, like, hey kid, you want to watch porn? You get a VPN. Here's how you do it. You shouldn't give a shit. You're over 18. You can watch all the porn you want. Fucking go bananas. You should not be giving a shit about the internet surfing habits of a young person. That's fucking weird. Root says, we stashed all our porno mags in my buddy Brent's shed. Had to steal the Sable Playboy. That was gold in the... Oh, dude, the Sable Playboy was the shit back in the day. You saw Sable's tits for the first time. You were like, oh, my God. I think I've just touched the face of God. I think I've just met Jesus. The Sable Playboy was a rite of passage in, I want to say, middle school. That and fuzzy porn. It was the Sable Playboy, and when you could get the Spice Channel to come in just a little bit on cable. Fire Spooge says, isn't that a job for the parent and not the government? As I get older and I have children of my own and I understand how a society functions and I don't live in fucking fantasy land, I become less and less libertarian. Being a libertarian is sticking your head in the sand and not realizing that we live in a society and that our decisions impact others. I think libertarianism is a cop-out. I don't even think it's a philosophy. I think it's a cop-out of, I want to do whatever I want. Let me do what I want. And then you base that around a political philosophy and you act like it's noble. I used to be a libertarian. I'm just really not anymore. I'm kind of all over the place now. And I think it is I don't know if it's the government's job, but I know that we all should be able to agree that people under 18 shouldn't be watching pornography legally, and we should try to shut that down if we can, because it's bad for development. It's bad for the human race. It's bad for just more than just one person. Atomic Ray with $1 says, I would bet banning circumcision removes more porn sites than the government can ever dream of. Banning circumcision. Red Fox Mad with $4.99 says, I miss getting Girls Gone Wild DVDs and watching them. Girls Gone Wild, founded by Joe Francis, was awesome. Are you doing an ad for Joe Francis, bro? That's the first time that's ever happened. So who shouts out Joe Francis? My Lost Interest says, either you're actually over 18 years old or you know how VPN works. Which, again, if an 18-year-old wants to, they know how to do that. And you can't stop them. But I don't know if you should be going on Twitter and telling young people how to do that. That just shows that you're a little too involved in the issue. Mr. Beat says North Carolina banned porn. Oh, come on and raise up. But don't take your shirt off. That's apparently they're against that. Bring back Playboy magazine. Yeah, they killed that a while ago. Root says, we can't make it illegal. Slippery slope, bro. We just got to be better parents. I disagree. I think you can. I think you can at least go on record as saying we want this banned for anyone under 18 in our state. I don't know if you can enforce it, but I don't think it's bad to go on. I think you're on the right side of history on that one. Roots Calhoun says, man, it took 2 hours for a single picture and the computer was in the middle of the house. Yeah, like the way you had to whack off to porn when I was in high school, early high school. I think we started getting those T1 and cable connections when I was like a senior or whatever, junior. But in late middle school, early high school, if you wanted to watch porn, you had to find, we would always go, like my friends and I, the consensus favorite site was sublimedirectory.com. And you would go to the section called Sticky Movies. That's what they used to call their video clips, Sticky Movies. And you would click on a link. You like the description of the link. And you're like, I like a blonde teacher getting pounded out hard. So you would click on that one, and they would give you 5 clips. Kids don't know how the porn worked back in the day. And then like a real player clip would pop up, and you'd have to maximize that. And if you were lucky, it would take up the whole screen, but usually wouldn't. And you would get like a 12-second clip, and it would take a minute or two to load. And you found the right 12-second clip, and you let it play on a loop, and that had to do it for you. That was what you had to do back in the day. We struggled back in the early 2000s, believe it or not. Fire Spooge says, but that's also like keeping alcohol out of reach of minors. They're going to find a way. And yes, you're right. You're absolutely right. They will. But I like the fact that legally we keep alcohol away from minors. I mean, yes, kids are going to find the shit they want. That's great. But as a society, we don't need to go, I give up. Let's make it easy on them. I mean, I drank before I was 21, but I like that we're on record as saying we're not cool with kids doing this. Papa Shab says, I'm in my 20s, and it's funny to hear about these archaic magazines. The way I found porn is a lot funnier, and that was probably way more damaging than pictures. Oh, yeah, the porn now is way more damaging than anything that's going on now. Let's go to Who, What, Why. With $2 says, your thoughts mean nothing. Make Johnny cry, please. I don't want to make Johnny cry. Angel Roll, thank you for gifting 5 memberships.
We want the gold, sucker. Hulk Hogan, we coming for you, nigga.
Oh, my goodness. That's going to put us at $45 away. Hey, boys and girls, do you want to team up and knock out $45? Get us a W for tomorrow night. This is tomorrow night's goal, not tonight's goal. But if you do knock out tomorrow night's goal tonight, I'm going to do a members only show immediately after this one. 09 Canyon says, my friend showed me a computer program called Butterfly. It was of a chick opening and closing her legs, but it was one of those pictures made from typing letters to make the picture. Fuck. You guys were advanced. Who got those memberships from Angel Roll, by the way? We got Fire Spooge, Zero Rugrats. Thank you, guys. Hit follow. Thanks for being members on the program here. Papa Shab says, someone please clip that. Aaron, realize what you just said. What did I say? We need to be better parents. I disagree. No. He said, I don't think we need to make a law. We can just be better parents. And I said, no. I like the idea that there's a law. Okay, I get what I did. But you all know what I meant. Leah says, what did I miss today? Work was insane. You missed that we're only $45 away from hammering out tomorrow night's goal, and I'm very excited about that. Thank you guys for for getting ahead and staying ahead. I appreciate that. My Feed times 3 gifted a membership by Angel Roll. Thank you very much. Oh, God, what did I do? We need to be better parents. I disagree. Did I? I must not have finished reading the comment because it was, we need to be better parents. We don't need the government. And I said, I disagree. What I meant was, I think it's good for us to go on the record as saying we as a society do not think it's good that 18-year-old or people under 18 legally can watch porn. You know what I meant. Red Fox Mad with $4.99 Says with foreskin, the orgasm feels more concentrated in the head. After the foreskin was removed, the head started to get less sensitive. I feel like my dad's having this conversation with me. I'm wildly uncomfortable. $40 away from tomorrow night's goal and about 10 minutes left for tonight. A members only show if we finish that 40 for tomorrow. My Lost Interest says porn is valuable when you're a sexually active teen. Need to bust one out before the big event to make it last longer. Maybe. I can't remember if that's how I did it. Did I whack off before? No, I think I was boring though. I had sex with my girlfriend in high school. I had a girlfriend from junior year till till I was like 21. I had a girlfriend for 4 years. I cheated on her a couple of times. But I had a girlfriend for 4 years. Then I made up for lost time after. Sam Show says there's no point in banning porn when I can just go, hey, AI, show me some fuck. Is that how you say it? I didn't know. I didn't know that that's how you do it. All right, you guys are taking everything out of context that I say tonight. Thank you, Who, What, Why. He says, Johnny, cry now. Johnny's not here. I can't make Johnny cry if he's not. I promise you, buddy, I will try to make Johnny cry tomorrow. How's that? Right now, what are you guys at? $40 away from being able to keep us 24 hours ahead on this program tonight. Thank you so much. See if we can rally 40 together in the next 10 minutes. All right, we got a couple of stories left and just enough time to do them. West Coast Patriot Girl says the Amish have to hand draw their own porn. That's true. Can't watch it. Red Fox Mad with $4.99 says, I wonder if Gary from the radio station still watches and whacks off at work. No, I think that was Lou who watched porn at work, Gary told me. Or he went to ashleymadison.com while he was at work. Fire Spooge says, wait a sec, is Pornhub the only website being banned in Texas, or is it all websites? That's a good question, too. Is there any way you can actually enforce an under 18 ban on all pornography? I don't know. $35 away from finishing it off and calling it a win for the toe for tomorrow night. $35 in 10 minutes. Can it be done? It's a possibility. We could. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, Rumble Rants. Oh my God, that's the first time I've said that tonight. That's the first time I've said that. $35 is the number. All the links are in the chat. Oh God, we've got one of these. All right, if you want to ask me, what I think government overreach is, I'll say this next story out of New York is definitely government overreach. This one is oh, look at that. Hold on a minute, guys. We got to throw a thank you out there. Don't use my screen name. My name is Steven. All right, nobody's going to... This isn't our usual Steven. This is a different Steven. But we have to put him up there as Steven. Give Steven an Olbermann. Thank you very much.
They are afraid.
Steven with $50 to finish it off tonight. Thank you very much, Steven. He's now going to be in second place with $50. That puts Jane and John in third at 25, Miss Tay in fourth at 25, and Gray Duckling on the outside looking in, or as they call it, the cuck chair nowadays, with his 25. Thank you so much. On a Wall gifting a membership. We appreciate that. So now what are we? We're 310 away from Wednesday morning's goal. So we are now 310 Wednesday a.m. There we go. Thank you guys so much for your generosity tonight. We are officially more than 24 hours ahead of our goals once again. And in 8 minutes, I'm going to say goodbye here on this one. And we're going to go back and do it members only after this. Thank you. Aspacker gifting a membership. Thank you very much, Aspacker. I appreciate it. So now we have 2 goals left for the week. We have Wednesday morning, Wednesday evening. And if we knock out both of those, I'm doing a Rumble Friday show on Thursday. All right. Let's do this pet pig story, and then we'll go off and do the members only. Now, we were arguing about government overreach just a second ago. This one I will agree with you. Is government overreach.
Loved pet and emotional support animal, Lucy the pig. After 311 calls came in about her, the New York City Health Department is threatening to take her away because they say it's illegal to have a pet pig in the 5 boroughs. Christy Kalishian has more.
Why? Why is it? Okay, explain this to me, and you might have a point because I don't know. Why is a pet pig more of a problem than, say, a pet dog or a pet cat or anything like that? Like, why can I own a dog and keep it in my... Like, what if I keep my pet pig in my house? And he's an indoor pig and he's not bothering anybody. The outside world never sees him. Why can't I keep a pig as a pet? Or a duck or anything else? Like, why does the government have to get involved over, what I keep?
I can't stop.
People are allowed to own fucking snakes, dude. Snakes kill people.
If love, kisses, and even tears alone could keep Lucy the pig alive, she'd live forever. But
Now, this is disgusting. Don't get me wrong. I think this is fucking gross. I don't think pigs should be pets. But I also don't think the pig should be, like, ripped from these people's home.
15 years old, the now senior emotional support pet owned by the Ganone family spends these days on a series of meds, resting on the couch.
Holy shit.
I take care of my grandchildren. I got to pick them up from school, take them to school, and then I got to take...
Uh-oh, what happened to mom and dad? We're on Staten Island. Something tells me that mom and dad either like to drink and drive or they're on a little bit of the old crystal meth. I got to take care of my grandchildren. I got to drive them to school. I got a fucking pig. And I got this thing on my couch. My husband's the pig. This one's an angel. Uh-oh. Mom and dad can't be depended on. Grandma's got to do all the work.
Take care of it's a lot of stress.
And to add to that stress, the pig was the subject of an anonymous 311 complaint earlier this month, saying they've been illegally keeping her as a pet.
Oh, you fucking rats. You snitches. That pig just lays around on that fucking couch all day, kept alive by some weird cocktail of drugs you would not normally give an animal. And you're going to call the authorities and say they're keeping a pig in their house? Oh, fuck you.
Shortly after, a rep from the city health department knocked on their door.
She said, they're not allowed in New York City. You're violating the law. And I said, I didn't know. I'm confused. So I said, she says, well, we're going to have to get back to you.
In a statement, the City Department of Health says in part, quote, in New York City, keeping a pig as a pet has been prohibited for at least 25 years. And for good reason. Pigs need outside space and companionship of other pigs to thrive. They can become aggressive towards people.
But it's in their house. Who gives a shit? That lady will learn that the hard way. If this pig snaps one day and eats her head like she's Mason Verger, it'll happen. But the pig isn't hurting anybody. Leave him alone. Well, why don't we go take pit bulls away from people? They hurt and maim and attack and kill. If people can own pit bulls, they can own a pig.
And that there's no USDA-approved rabies vaccine for pigs. The health department says no violations have been issued, and a City Hall spokesperson says they're working on a solution that involves getting Lucy moved to the Ganone's house upstate, which the family says is under a lot of construction.
There's no benefit to remove this animal from the community.
In the past week, nearly 9,000 people have signed an online petition for the family to keep the docile pig. That's also gotten support from lawmakers like Congresswoman Nicole Malliotakis. Family friend Caitlin Grotto made her usual visit to Lucy with her 1- and 4-year-old kids.
She was raised around us, so any other environment is not going to be fit for her.
Oh, look at that. Look at the little cute
And with
pig.
the support from local lawmakers, the Ganones also plan on meeting with them as soon as this weekend. And
Yeah, fuck that. Let him keep the pig. First of all, he can barely walk. He's dying. Their whole kitchen counter is just filled with fucking shit to keep him alive. Leave him alone. How's that? I'll let the government say that your kids can't watch porn, but I won't let the government take your pig. Are we good now? Good. All right. I'm going to turn this members only over on the YouTube end of things. We'll hang around. I appreciate you guys being here. Let me just let me switch this over. Like I said, we'll go members only for another half hour until 9 o'clock tonight. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us. And there it is. All right. So we're members only. Thank you, Grand Poobah, with that $2. Yes, I think that's probably a good analogy. I appreciate that. Well, thank you guys very much for all the contributions tonight. You're already into Wednesday morning. So being into Wednesday. So that means we have Tuesday morning, Tuesday evening, Wednesday morning, Wednesday evening to knock out 2 pesky goals. I think that's pretty goddamn doable. Thanks, guys. West Coast Patriot Girl says, keep the pig, ban the Jew. Oh, jeez. I did not say that was what we should do. I did not say that is what we should be doing. God damn. All right, let's go into this. Let me clear out my chat here. Here we go. Boom. All right. For the members only stuff, we're just going to go chat like we always do. My Lost Interest says this no goal thing is very confusing. I like it. It's so nice. Dude, especially for like a holiday week. I mean, everyone was just so cool at the end of last week. Everyone was just so nice and supportive and generous and all that. And then we got ahead. And now it's a holiday week. It's a short week. And being this far ahead, it's really nice. I like it. My Lost Interest wants to know, is pig porn okay? No, of course not. Of course not. Chad Buzamok over on Rumble says, are we doing it members only now? Well, here's the thing. With Rumble, the audience decided, they said, look, man, because here are my choices for members only on Rumble. I can just keep it open. And when I keep it open, anybody can, chat, watch, whatever. The only thing I can do to Rumble to restrict it is I can make it premium only. And I don't think that's fair because there's a lot of people who gifted memberships or have memberships or bought memberships, and it doesn't fall under the but they're not Rumble premium members, so they kind of get fucked over. I don't like that. Let's continue. Again, members only. We let you guys run the show. Root says, are you a member? You are today, buddy. Leah says, that's because your audience actually likes you. I know, it's weird, right? It's weird when they actually like me. It's weird to find out. POTUS Felonius says, we like you spurging better. I don't know. It seems like they don't. They're keeping us 24 hours ahead. Baba Shab says, your YouTube stream is still open. I know. I changed it to members only. It's fine. It's good. Balls Deep says, keeping Rumble open is fair. Yeah, because, the people who are still on it, they still have to navigate Rumble, which I think is reward enough. Twisted Question Mark says, are you barefoot? I am, man, and I'm tired as fuck today, too. I went to the gym. I also mowed the lawn. It's hot out in Minnesota right now. I gotta say, I'm trying to get comfy. I got my sweatpants on. I got my Jim Cornette t-shirt on, and I'm barefoot. My favorite feeling in the world when you get home and you know you're not going back out again is when you can take off your socks and your bare feet are in the carpet. That's a great feeling. That's my favorite. That's how I know that the day has come to an end. Roots Calhoun says, I'm a light racist. Well, this should be a good start. My Jew buddy is full on hateful. I love him, but sometimes his shit even makes me uncomfortable. Sam Show makes me feel that way. You know? Sam Show sometimes gets into his shit, and I'm like, oh, God, now, you know what? Now I even feel weird. And I'm like, are people judging me because Sam Show's a fan of my program? Like, when Sam Show talks this way, is this making other people go, oh, this is what this guy likes? This is what this guy endorses? And fuck him. But I like Sam Show, so I can't disavow him. Von Kaiser says, are you still working on your Thomas Hayden Church impression? A little bit. I'm still kind of working on the Thomas Hayden Church impression. It hasn't really taken, like, it's not front and center at my attention, but I do work on it from time to time. Taste Fairy Ialto says, did you see Charles Robinson get blasted in Saudi? Now, if you don't know what if people don't know what you're talking about, Taste Fairy Ialto, they're going to think that you wrote something very, very gay. Charles Robinson, the referee, got shoulder tackled by John Cena, and he sold it so well that he laid there until after the show was over and the audience all went home. It was wonderful. Wally World says, did you do planks between rounds at the gym? I did. Even when I was sparring today, I did planks between rounds, and I have not been doing my planks lately. My body shows it, and my endurance shows it. I'm in golfing shape. Not boxing shape. POTUS Felonius says, you need some Tito's. Cheers. I left the Tito's at the cabin. I've got a lot of my stuff at the cabin right now this week because that's where I'm going to be spending most of my time. Like tomorrow, the kids and I are going to the cabin. Wednesday, they're going to be out there. They're going to stay overnight. I'm going to come back to do the show. Thursday night, Friday night, I'm going to be out there. And I think I'm coming home Saturday night. I'm coming home from the lake. So I got a lot of my shit out there. I have a couple stray beers in the fridge. Everything else is out of the... I don't keep a lot of booze in my house, generally. Chad Buzemach says, Sam Show taking strays. He's a good guy. Oh, now he's lashing out. He goes, when your toes are in the carpet rolling a dog turd. You're just lashing out because I said that about you. That's all. I'm choosing not to take that personally. Root says, I am dreading waking up at 4 a.m. to go fishing in Wisconsin, going for walleye. Oh, walleye's good eating, though, buddy. Walleye is good eating, dude. You should be excited. I know the getting up early part sucks, but you're coming from what, Chicago? That's not a very far drive, getting up at 4 a.m. You catch a couple of walleye, man, you're in heaven. You're good. Pray by 12 says, love the new show. Excited to share. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Rusty Grammer says, speaking of that, I should update my payment info before Leah gifts me another sub. Well, we just assume she's going to. Twitsed question mark says, that's a tough impression. Oh, Thomas Hayden Church? Yeah, because, like, you got to do, like, a Southern thing. But then also at the same time, you got to be kind of smooth. So it's like, it can be a little frustrating. You're like, is there too much gravel in here? And am I going too hard at it? Or is it like you gotta kind of get the pacing down, because the pacing can be beatnik, but it can also be really sped up at the same time. So it's I've got some work to do. I've got to watch season 2 of Tires a couple more times through, and I might be able to figure it out. I might be able to get it down. There was that one time I did it on the show where I was listening to it in my headphones as I was doing it. I was like, holy shit, I'm kind of doing a really good job with this impression I've never tried before. And I haven't been able to get that back. Wally World says, how far away is the cabin? Not that far. Not that far. Chad Buzemach says, during the golf anniversary tournament, will you get us some video of you golfing? We can go over it on the next show. Maybe. It's kind of hard to film yourself golfing. But maybe someone else can. Maybe we'll stream my foursomes... round, perhaps. No, Mr. Beat, my ex is not staying out there with me. That would be weird. That would be odd. When we did the camping thing, she was there on Saturday and I was there most of the day Saturday. It wasn't that much crossover. It wasn't that much crossover. Aaron rescues stray beers. I guess a little bit. A little bit. Taste Fairy says Wisconsin is great if you're a day drinker. Oh, yeah, it is. Wisconsin's a good day drinking state. 100%. Papa Shab says just do the whole show as Whoopi. Well, child, I don't know if I can do the whole show as Whoopi Goldberg. I mean, did you know that Trump is out here? I mean, Trump is so bad for black people. I would rather live in Iran, sugar. Can you fish for walleye year-round? I need my walleye fisherman on that one. I'm not sure. My lost interest says used to fish for walleye in Lake Michigan and brown trout in the streams. You know what's funny? We have trout in the quarries here. So where they used to mine granite in St. Cloud, they have these big holes they've blown in the earth to mine the granite. And these man-made lakes or ponds, I guess, have formed and they have trout in them. But the trout, I feel like the trout have become too accustomed to people because no matter how good a trout bait you use, they just ain't biting, man. The fish in the quarries, they're built different. I've caught a sunfish in the quarries, but I've never caught a trout in the quarries. Roots Calhoun says, homie just bought a house on the lake right on the border. We're introducing ourselves to the neighbors. Chad Buzamok says, stream your foursomes, eh? Golf. My lost interest says, do you have a VCR and a stack of videotapes from the 80s at the cabin? That's a very Minnesota cabin thing to have. That is a fucking beautiful question that you just asked. But no, we do have a tube TV with a Blu-ray player and some Blu-rays and DVDs at the cabin. But no VHS. No VHS. Aaron trolls for trouser trout. See, you're saying that I'm trying to catch penis, is what you're saying. Riding Dirty Llama says, I want Lake Superior smelt, damn it. In Minnesota, one of the big things they do during Lent is a smelt fry, where they take those little fuckers and they bread them and fry them up. People go fucking retarded for smelt fries. It's embarrassing, actually. Leah says, I actually think Aaron's Trump is his best impression. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Not Chad Buzamok. Where is it? Rusty Grammar says, them's our city trout. Got to go outside of town. Yeah, they don't bite in the quarries. Chad Buzamok says, I'm going crazy out there at the cabin. And no, Atomic Ray, we don't have cabin porn. We don't have cabin porn. Oh. When you buy a new TV, the old TV goes to the cabin. Ooh, that's a good call. I like that. When you buy a new TV, the old TV goes to the cabin. Sam Show says he totally has cabin porn. No, you can't. That would be weird to have porn at the cabin. Plus, you have a phone, you know. You have a room and a phone if you ever needed to. I've never done that. I've never whacked off at the cabin. I've never watched porn at the cabin. I've never whacked off at the cabin. But, you don't need to keep porn at the cabin. That's serial killer shit, really. Doggo Doesn't Die says, I second the Trump impression. Okay. Cabin is where the porn is made. Right? I fucked at the cabin. Mr. Fuzzy Bottom Jeans. Oh, I did not know that. So, fuck me, I guess, huh? Nobody's watching me now? Shit. I said that if they kept us 24 hours ahead, that I would do we'd hang out a little longer with the members. That sounds so gay. And we would fuck around and just read some chats and shit a little bit. Wally World says, what is your longest drive golfing? That I can answer. I had the wind at my back, and I got a good roll on the fairway. 267 is my farthest drive. I think when I was in Kimball and I drove right up next to the green on a 300, I think I probably went about 280, 285, but I couldn't, there was no measurement. I couldn't measure it. Like when I hit it 267, there was where my cart was, and they had the GPS, so they had the yardage. And when I drove up to my ball and you did the math, it was 267 yards. I think I might have hit 280 at Kimball because I hit it straight down the fairway, and it hit a ridge. It hit like the back end of the bottom of a hill, and it took off. And I think that might have been 280, but they didn't have the tablets like Territory does, and they didn't have a lot for yardage sticks either. So there was, but the hole was like 319, and I put it right next to the green. POTUS Felonius with $3. Thank you very, very much. I was going to say thank you very nothing. Mr. Beat says 320, Aaron. That should be your average drive. Nope. I am not a big hitter. I'm a big hitter with my irons and my hybrids. Like I can go 220 with a 3 hybrid, but my driver, if I get a hold of my driver and I hit it straight, 250, about 250. From the fairway, I can go about 2 to 220 with the 3 hybrid. I can go about 180 to 185 with the 6 iron, $170 with the 7, $160, $165 with the 8, $150, $155 with the 9, $145 with the pitching wedge, $120 with the sand wedge is about what I can do. No, Papa Shab says, is that why the wife left? Not a big hitter. She was a big hitter. That's why. That's what ended up. Nopen 15 says, have you tried chapstick on the club? I don't know what that means. I will say this. I got the guy I golfed with on Saturday when I golfed 18. He switched my grip up a little bit because I have a left draw to my drive. Draws to the left. And he said, you were a baseball player, weren't you? I said, yeah, I played baseball for decades. He said, and you're a tall guy, so people have been telling you to stand further from the ball, and you're leaning towards the ball. That's causing you to draw to the left. He said, stand up straighter, take a step closer to the ball, take your right hand on the bottom part, move it up the club, and turn it to the left a little more. I have my right thumb straight down the shaft of the club. He said, turn it so it's to the left of the club. And by God, it helped. It helped a ton. It really did. My drive is much better now immediately. Did you ever try a Happy Gilmore on the drive? Oh, yeah. When I was younger, I'd do the Happy Gilmore drive. I'd try to do the Happy Gilmore drive, I don't know, probably once or twice around. And for me, the Happy Gilmore drive always sliced left really bad. It always sliced left. You can hit it a ton. Like it does work for distance, but I can't control it. It's like throwing a knuckleball. Mr. Beat says, I just saw a 17-year-old kid hit 320 on YouTube. Yeah, I'm jealous of people who can whack the shit out of a driver like that. Zero Rugrats, being very honest, says, if I manage to hit the ball right, it might go 100 yards. LOL. Hey, man. That's fucking honest. I'll tell you that. That is honest. Red Fox Mad with $4.99 says, are you getting an ice cream truck for the anniversary party? What other kind of food trucks are you booking? Cheetos has the food truck booked. And I don't know what it's going. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's the same one as last year. We really liked those guys. They're really, really great. So I think it's going to be them again. All right. Perfect. We're all caught up. Oh, my God. And we've got about 10 minutes left. Thank you, POTUS Felonius, and thank you for to Red Fox Mad for throwing in a little something extra here on the members only that we're doing. You guys are 305 away from away from, what is it, Wednesday morning. You guys are 3:05 away from Wednesday morning, which is fantastic. This isn't very nice. Mr. Beat says, Aaron, you should buy Johnny one of those clubs that you don't swing. You put 22 blanks in it and send the ball. The fuck are you talking about? Chad Buzamok says, what price did Gino and Kiki want that brought it up? Their travel just went up. We worked it out. We got it taken care of. Roots says, Roots has the receipts of contacting you. I thought we were good. What do you need, buddy? Send me another email. We'll work it out. I thought we were all set for the anniversary show. I thought we were good. Red Fox Matt says, are any of your kids into golf or sports in school? Yeah, my son is into baseball, basketball, and football. And I think he wants a left-handed set of clubs. The problem is he's 8. I didn't start golfing till I was 10. I was garbage. But, like, he's 8. And the problem there is, like, when you're 8, you're into stuff for a little bit, and then your attention goes away. So, like, he wants to golf, but if I get him a set of clubs and I go, buddy, you want to go to the range? He's like, I'm playing with my friends, and not right now, this and that. Like, he wants to. He loves the idea of it, but, like, getting up and going to the range and all that, he's got to stop playing with his friends or doing what we're doing here, doing what we're doing there. I think if I give him another year or two, he'll want to. He loves hitting the baseball. He loves throwing the football. He loves playing basketball. But when you go, hey, buddy, you want me to get you into a league this summer or this fall or whatever, he'll be like, yeah, maybe later. You know, they're kind of, at 8 years old, they're kind of jumping from thing to thing. I think the only thing I played organized when I was 8 was baseball. And I think they were still throwing underhand back then. So 8's a little early. Just get the kid some clubs. He will love it, I'm sure. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Angel Roll says, my dad's a golf pro. All of us got clubs as soon as we walked. That's a good dad. There you go. I don't know what we're going to get him next. Are we going to get him a set of golf clubs, which kind of seems like a me thing? Or should we, I think we should probably put a basketball hoop up first. I think that would probably be the way to go. Loaded Wrench says, I seen a guy give his kid a new boat. Kid was on a fishing scholarship. Well, shit, it ain't going to waste at least. Rusty Grammer says, yeah, got to go to South Dakota to get adult fireworks. Minnesota blows. Fuck liberals. Yeah, we got to recruit someone from my family to make the annual trip to Wisconsin for the fireworks for the 4th. That's a big thing here in Minnesota because you can't buy them. You can get like bottle rockets, Roman candles, shit like that. But you can't get mortars in Minnesota. It's illegal. They don't want you blowing your hand off. You know what's fucked up? We have a story for this tomorrow. They don't, in Minnesota, it's illegal to have fireworks. But they also put out a story today that said, we don't want you guys calling 911 with fireworks injuries this year. Well, then legalize the fucking thing. If you don't want us bothering you, make it legal. For Christ's sake. Wally World says, how do I persuade my wife that she wants to travel from Philly to rural Minnesota for the anniversary show? Tell her you'll take her to the Mall of America for a whole day. Boom. You got it. Tell her Sunday after the golf tournament, you'll take her to Mall of America. She'll love that. Aaron, I like this one. POTUS Felonia says, Aaron was the white boy on Sandlot with the fishing cap with the long bill. Red Fox Matt says you should get the kids go-karts or dirt bikes. We had both growing up. It was fun. They like golf carts. That's the thing they like. Zero Rugrats says fireworks trigger PTSD in veterans. Please remember that. That is something. That's a good thing to remember for sure. 09 Canyon says we used to stop at the fireworks factory in PA when we had people on the East Coast. Yeah, Minnesota's still one of those weird states that still thinks they should protect us from fireworks like it's pornography. So, just, you know, one of the drawbacks of living in a nanny state, I suppose. One of the drawbacks. Doggo Doesn't Die says, tell her she can get in the hot tub with Aaron and SP. I don't know if that's a selling point these days. Maybe with SP, but I don't know about me. I don't know if that's, tell her not to Google me first. That would be good. Chad Buzamok says, let's get that fridge tour and call it a night. Oh, I got about 5-6 minutes left. I'm ready to call it a night. Believe me, I'm tired today. I am a sleepy boy today. I'm going to be a sleepy boy tomorrow too, because again, I'm out at the cabin the rest of the week and then just back here to do shows pretty much. Mr. Fuzzy Bottom Toad Beans says, you seem drunk. That would be so sad. If I had this little guy right here and I was just fucking loaded. No, I am pretty tired though. I will give you that. Neighbors. Oh shit. I'm losing my chat. Neighbors all have their little private ranges. Wow. Don't you live in a nice little bougie neighborhood? Professor Tie-Dye says, as a combat vet, I know what I can handle. It's pretty insulting to non-vets saying to think of us and PTSD. Well, I think they're just trying to be like, hey, look at me. I'm looking out for the vets. It's their thing. My Lost Interest says, let your son drive the golf cart and putt for the first few golf outings. He'll be hooked. Yeah, I did have him when we were out camping. They have a little course there. And as long as people weren't behind us, I would let him hit from where I was each time. But then, we got a group behind us, so we kind of had to keep her moving. In high school, they showed a fireworks accident video, says West Coast Patriot Girl. Very gory. I can't imagine what a hand looks like when a firework blows it off. Wally World says, can we meet some Somalis at the Mall of America? Whether you want to or not, my friend. Whether you want to or not. MSO says, I'm enjoying the show tonight. It might be the oxycodone. It's definitely the oxycodone. 1,500%. It's the oxys. Papa Shab says, how the finger sausage is made. Mr. Beat says, Aaron's going to throw a fit soon. He needs to go to bed. I'm fine. I'm going to stay up and do a little extra show prep. I've got a good show prep for tomorrow, but I think we can add a little something to it. So I think I'll stay up a little later. Here's my problem. If I have one beer, I get sleepy. I'm such a fag. I really am. And I just say that shit openly to you. My Lost Interest says, does Gordy go to the game? Gordy fucking loves the cabin. Gordy loves it. You know what I can always count on when we come home from the cabin is for the next 24 hours, Gordy's going to be laying around not wanting to do a fucking thing. Gordy is going to be out of it. Out of it. Mr. Fuzzy Bottom Jeans says you're heading right to the farms after this. I haven't been on the farms for almost 3 weeks now, and it's nice. I save a lot of time. I like it a lot. It's wonderful. I think they do wonderful work over there, but not for me anymore. I think I like them. I think they do great, but it just saves me time. Red Fox Mad says John Lennon was naked at the old Vikings and Twin Stadium on the site of the Mall of America, the old Met Stadium. That is true. That is true. Numero Uno says, does SP go to the cabin? Yes, SP goes to the cabin. We were out on the lake on my cousin's boat. Friday? I think Friday we were out on the boat. Yeah, it was, because Saturday was the Weird Al concert, and that was fucking great. That was a lot. Man, Weird Al still puts on a hell of a show. That guy kicks ass, and it's like it's a huge ensemble band too, and there's a fuckload of costume changes and video presentations, and Weird Al gives her. You can tell he just still loves doing it. He's 65. He looks great. He sounds great. Moves around. He only lip syncs one song. And that's when he has to put that big fat suit on and do the Michael Jackson dance moves for Fat. And he'll still, he'll lip sync a little to Fat. He'll sing the verses himself. But when it gets to the chorus and he has to do all the Michael Jackson shit, you can tell there's a backing track. Riding Dirty Llama says Aaron uses arm floaties and pool noodles. These are all rumors. I drive the picnic table boat. That's what I do. I have the picnic table boat, and I captain that bad boy. You got a trolling motor on the back of it. We built a big picnic table from scratch. We put 6 55-gallon barrels under it, and we take that fucker around the lake. That's my favorite thing to do. Is that and we built such a sturdy, heavy picnic table that you can get 3 people, 3 adults on each side, and the thing won't submerge. 4 adults probably on each side, and the thing won't submerge. It's great. I am the captain of the picnic table boat. That is my role 100%, and I cherish it. I cherish that role. All right, guys, we are out of here. Thank you very much for an incredible day's worth of shows. You guys are over 24 hours ahead of the goal again. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm going to do a little bit more show prep, and then I am going to bed. Take it easy and have a great rest of your night. Thank you for all of your support.